Hello, and welcome to the stream. I just had dinner. It did not fill me up.
Good to know.
That's depressing.
And that sequence there is exactly how the rest of this stream is going to go. So strap in.
It's gonna be depressing?
No, just random.
Unexpected.
Unexpected.
Unadulterated.
I really like the little pictures in the bottom.
I know, man. Who made those? They're so good.
Oh, I didn't mean it that kind of segue. I was just saying it like this.
Come on. It's okay to talk about how good your art is.
Yeah, as long as you're not smug about it.
Yeah.
I am the furthest thing from smug because I think it's trash.
Especially that Xavier
Anyways.
one. Who did that? That looks so
Exactly. See? There you go. Smug about it. Be smug, bitch. Be smug. Yeah, too bad we're missing the lightning thrower.
good. That's okay. He's in chat.
Yes. But anyways, oh, you know what we don't have? Bard?
What do we not
Music.
have? Oh,
We
snap.
don't have any. We don't have background music. We need background music. Even if you just YouTube's it.
What do you suggest we listen to? Any
I would just
suggestions?
go to like YouTube and be like, look for like copyright free or something.
Yeah, fantasy
Wonderwall.
music.
No,
Don't you
Wonderwall.
dare!
not Wonderwall.
I will end this shit
Anything
right now.
but Wonderwall. I will end the fucking
Look, I'm
stream.
just saying.
Oh, maybe
I'm
turn
just
this
saying.
thing around.
It sounds so D&D. It sounds like a spell. Wonderwall.
I don't
What?
understand why Wonderwall's so
Oh.
popular.
It does
It's-
sound like
it's
I could
one of,
totally.
like-
I totally want to see Gomo cast Wonderwall.
Wonderwall.
It's like a
Later,
big purple
later when I
translucent
learn
screen.
the spell, force wall, or what's it called? Like wall of force or something.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
you go.
I'm gonna call it Wonder Wall when I cast it.
There you go, exactly.
Do it.
It's like I open up.
Disclaimer.
Oh my god. I'm gonna grab my freaking guitar now.
No.
Oh,
Okay,
dear.
I mean, grab the guitar. Just
Yeah,
don't do Wonderwall.
Wait, you were hello? You're cutting out. Do Wonder. Okay, got it.
I will pay you $20 on the spot to do it.
That's
So
about
now-
6 seconds, right? So that's how long
Yeah.
it takes to cast.
You have to do that every time you cast Wonderwall or Wall of Force.
It's like I cast. Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back, gonna throw it back. Yeah. It's like,
That's awesome.
and so the arrows gets thrown back when it hits the wall.
So, on stream in the middle, you see Liliola or Angel's drawings, and apparently she's drawing as she's feeling right now. The blood coming out of her ears. So, I figured since we're not really playing, we're down our Dragonborn here, which is Yodi, who's in chat. We could do like a Q&A session, kind of chill, do whatever. And we're using art filler and Q&A filler. So yeah. Does anybody have questions you want to start off with? Or would you like the DM to start?
That's the DM started.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
DM
The
can
questions
start.
I
I
have-
have a list. I have a list at home, so you'll have to wait for that. But
okay.
yeah.
We figured
Take it
you would
away.
have a list. Oh, Yodi's got one. Do you guys do anything to get into character before sessions?
Actually, yes.
Ooh.
I'll re-listen. Typically, if I have time, I'll re-listen to the final minutes, like 3-4 minutes before the stream ends from the previous session, to kind of refamiliarize myself with the situation and get myself back into whatever headspace Neilon was in. That way, hopefully, that'll carry through. it's either that or if I take like super in-depth notes, then I'll just kind of keep that in the back of my head of like, okay, this is what that felt like. So yeah, trying to stay as consistent as possible between sessions.
Well, as for me, I before and during snack and eat.
Yeah, you do. You do
No,
like
I no
snacking.
like legit.
Yeah.
Like I forgot that one time that like when the first time we entered, like, so this is a bit of a confession. Like first time when we went into the cave, the research facility, like I completely forgot about that characteristic of Gomo, and I wasn't role playing that at all. And there were a couple of opportunities I could have, and so like I'm kind of trying to remind myself that that is a thing now. It's finally kind of really clicked and is staying there. But yeah, I've been snacking to kind of, I guess, to use it as a reminder.
Yeah, no, there have been that was a thing early on for you, where, like, you know, it was like, oh yeah, this is backstory and this is stuff that happens, and then like it didn't come up. So same with like me and NPCs. I have to get better at remembering NPCs. And actually, the thing that reminded me now is like for Thale, especially,
Yeah.
is because it was forgotten and it became kind of like a meme that I forgot, right? And then that helped me remember Thale from then on. It was kind of like, you know, threw it in my face and was like, don't forget, this is what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it also creates fun. That also created fun moments. So.
Like all of us just like fucking berating him when he
Exactly,
after
yeah.
he won.
Yeah.
Every
I
time
love it.
that
Where
he's
the
not
hell's
there, it's like, oh great.
Where's Thale? Like, where
Yeah.
was he during this whole time?
And I'm like, damn it, I forgot again. Yeah, so I definitely
I
don't
like
forget that.
I like that has become his character that he just disappears.
Yep.
Like it's pretty fun. As for me with Naota, I do what Fish does. I'll listen to the last few minutes. I'll also find like a piece of music or something that kind of captures what she was feeling in that moment, or what I think she might feel through the rest of the campaign. But outside of that,
Ooh.
yeah, it's more just trying to remember how she felt in those last few minutes.
Are we gonna get a Neota playlist? Because I know they did that with
I mean-
Critical Role. They did playlists for the characters.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. That would be fun. Character
That'd be
playlist.
cool.
For me, what I see, here's the thing: is I'm still trying to find what works best. So like I'll do, you know, plan in a certain way, and then we'll play out a session, and I'll be like, okay, here's some pros and cons of what worked with that, what didn't. And I found that when I ask you guys, you know, like how did the session go, blah blah blah, and the feedback I get from you guys, the most fun we have are the ones where we do more ad-libbing versus me planning a lot of it out. So I think I've got a pretty good idea of like what to plan and what not to plan. Because at first I was like planning everything.
Right.
And it worked. Like, because like if you guys had questions or something, I had answers all the time. But at the same time, they just weren't as fun. At least it didn't seem like you guys were having as much fun. So, but between sessions, instead of like right into it, but between sessions, I would at one point I spent a lot of time on like WorldAnvil, and like I just spent a lot of time in notebooks. I have like 4 different notebooks, by the way, depending on, like, I have a smaller one I take to work with me, and I have a bigger one for here, and then I have to like consolidate it. But yeah, I'm finding that I'm using them less and less, and we're having more fun. I just have to don't let it go too far, you know, like don't back up too far and just not write anything down. So, but yeah, that's what I do. Angel apparently sleeps.
I just jump in. I don't prepare anything.
So apparently that's how the pros do it.
What? No, I just
Just,
I don't know, I just
jump
jump
in,
in.
guys. Like, why bother?
Oh, thanks, Yodi. I appreciate it.
I didn't want to
Most of the world building that we have so far has already been done. Like, do you remember before we started playing, I was like, "Oh, I need a couple weeks to just play in world building." Almost everything we've had so far has been from that. There really hasn't been that much I've added recently. I added more towns, but the general idea of who, what, where, when, why was already done, I think. Oh, also from backstories, from you guys' backstories, when you give me stuff, that helps a lot. Like, I build off of that. But yeah. Was that everybody? I think that was everybody.
I think so.
Other than Yodi, yeah.
Yodi, if you want to type in chat what you do, that way maybe we can get some cool ideas from you. I have a question for everybody as well. Are your characters now who you thought they would be? Like when you created them, like when you created them, do you think they were going to go a different way and you've changed them, or is this pretty much what you thought they'd be?
No. I had an idea, and that kind of, like, it didn't take a hard left, like, it's similar to what I thought, but there's just enough skewed that's like, okay, so that's what's happening. Okay. So that's been fun.
I'm gonna be honest with me. Once again, I'm not very good at preparing stuff, guys. You're gonna see that. I didn't really have a solid image of Lily when I first started. So where she is right now, it's just she's growing as I'm going. I really didn't have a solid image.
For you, I can understand. I mean, like, this was your first campaign. You didn't really know. And I remember when Gummy was really trying to help you with your character, you really didn't know. Like, oh, okay, sure, I don't really know. So it was all new. So yeah, you would be doing that as you go. But I was just wondering, like, and then now as you have been playing, how does your character feel to you now?
I like where she's going. Like, at first I wanted her to be like a little bit more serious when I was thinking about it, but then as I was going, I was like, okay, well, you know what? I kind of like the immature aspect for a few reasons, because, well, for anybody that's been watching, she's told Gomo only her secret, which everybody knows already. Well, as we know. So the way that I see it, especially since Neelon is scary, the immature thing is kind of like a self-defense. Like, if they ever find out what I really am, I'm so lovable. How could they hate me? Like, just try to seem as harmless as possible kind of thing. And it's fun to be playing immature, to be honest.
I can't wait for Neelon to find out.
No, I'm adorable. You won't hurt me.
Never.
Especially after, like, I think everyone had an, oh, no, he is actually scary kind of comment after last session. Like, yeah,
I
no,
knew
that's
he
gonna
was
be
scary
fun.
before that. That's why I've been acting the way I have.
Yeah, but now everyone has the same feelings.
Let's see, I'll read what Yodi said. He put, for me, Rodon is more of a tight ass than I expected. It's funny because the experience with pissing off Liliola has been a rerouting to his original planned personality. He still needs work, but he apparently had to go a little darker and have a reason to fix himself than before he could actually be where I wanted him to be.
Ooh, that's really cool.
I'm not gonna lie, since you guys didn't find me last session, if you guys had found her, she probably would have been like sitting by herself crying. No lie.
Oh,
Sad vibes.
Yeah, sad vibes. Oh, but you guys didn't find her, so y'all didn't see any of that. You just saw her being like a freaking Robin Hood that's missing all her shots.
so not Robin Hood at all.
Yep.
Whenever we get finished all answering this question, I actually have a question for Angel.
How about
Okay.
Gomo? How about you?
Yes.
How about Gomo as a character? Is
Well-
where he's at now where you thought he would be?
So, I think I've like set myself up to challenge myself when it comes to the whole magic stuff, because I usually in the past haven't played a lot of casters. A lot of them were like half casters, like kind of like ranger classes and so I rarely had to deal with an extensive list, even though like bards don't exactly have the extensive list. It's like the cleric, unlike the clerics or the paladins or wizards. But so like it was new for me, and I really wanted to like get super creative with how they're cast, but then like it started becoming very challenging to do during combat. So that's the one aspect that I feel like I'm falling short on and not able to really flesh out Gomo as a character, how he casts magic and how that's done. I had a vision, but then like I wasn't able to kind of bring that into the game, and so that's something I need to work on. But as far as like the personality, I think was more or less what I had envisioned, and it really did help that the rest of the crew was kind of like either a good contrast or a good kind of either a counterbalance to what he is, or like he's able to kind of like fill a role in the group as like actually like Lily's the smooth talker. Actually, I was actually thinking Gomos was gonna be that, but Lily with her insane. I think Lily has the highest charisma.
Yes.
Lily ended up being the slide talker.
What's your charisma?
You know what? I'll bring that up right now. Keep talking. I'm gonna check.
It's either Lily or Neelan. I think I'm not sure.
Neelan has 18.
I think you're both tied for 18 in that case.
I think mine's 18 also.
Yeah.
Let's
So
see.
Hell yeah.
yeah. Gomo only has 16, but I thought like given his
Yeah, mine's
background and stuff,
18.
he would be able to roleplay stuff. But only so much opportunity has presented itself, and I'm finding myself to not be very good at that type of roleplay as well as I hoped I would be. So I'm trying to like push myself to be more of that. But other than that, I think like, you know, like Rodon being kind of the mysterious kind of few words type, and Neelan being the rage machine that he is, and Nyota just being clueless of the overworld. And I think Lily just being kind of, I think, reserved and secretive in general. And I think when she kind of like comes out to the front, I don't think her interaction is very sincere. So I think like Gomo can fill that role where he's the spokesperson in a lot of cases. I was hoping he would be that, and I think that's actually kind of fun. So personality and character-wise, I think I like Gomo where he's come. There are definitely things that got fleshed out as the campaign went on. Things I didn't think of.
I think he unintentionally, like, we don't have a de facto leader yet.
No, we don't.
There's your receipt. But I think he's kind of like a half leader sometimes, or at least like unintentionally. There's a lot of times where like we'll turn to him and he's like, "Why are you all looking at me?"
Yeah, no, because like I think that's actually kind of what I was talking about. I
Which
wasn't
is
able to
actually
articulate
natural
it.
for a group. They try to find somebody, and right now it's between Neelan and Gomo.
That's
and
why they're the
Gomo's just like,
parents.
"I didn't ask for this."
Yeah. I was actually just about to say that there's a reason why. I mean, it's all fun and games, but that's the reason why you guys started saying mom and dad. Was just that. You know, you guys started realizing they're like leaders, so therefore mom and dad.
And naturally, humans will look for somebody to turn to that can fill that role. And those two are just like,
Except for the
Poor
fact that there's
Gomo's like, "I
only
didn't ask for
one.
this."
There are no humans.
There's no
involved.
human. Yeah. None of us are
Well, I
human.
mean,
but people. She means people.
Neelan's half human. He's the closest one.
Yeah.
So
Elon's a daddy, though.
Don't.
it's perfect.
I'm
That's
gonna
not.
ask you to change that word. All right.
Funny.
Papi?
Father.
I don't think that's any better.
I don't know.
No.
I
It's
just looking at
Papi.
saving throws. Just
Hola,
looking at saving
Papi.
throws.
Saving.
Liliola's +4 charisma. Neelon is +7.
Dang.
So obviously, I believe it's Neelon.
Well, the saving throw, yeah, that adds on.
Hit Shrek.
But gosh, like, I mean, there's a reason our whole party just ends up leaning towards RP stuff and social interaction. Because look, like our Gomo literally has, what's his deception and persuasion are both +9.
Yeah.
They're +9. I'm like, what?
See, and that's the thing. It's like
9.
man, Naota's stats aren't bad, but with her like lack of common, it's like, man, as soon as she can speak common, you're all fucked.
Let's see. With my inherent +4, just because of my saving throw buffs or whatever, my charisma saving throw is actually +11 right now.
Crazy.
That's
Fucking terrifying.
But yeah, our party is very unorthodox, but I think we have a very interesting like strengths that we can play. But yeah, Yodi mentioned, as Yodi mentioned, yeah. So like, especially earlier on, yeah, there were definitely stuff that like interaction when I think like when the whole party first came to the tavern. What's it called again? Hornet?
Really?
I
giant
don't have
hornet?
I didn't have my notes.
How
up,
can you
okay?
not have every single thing memorized already? Gosh.
It's like such a terrible actor, right?
You didn't even read.
It's not like there's no script or something to read in advance.
Oh my
and
god,
memorize, right?
it's not like you can totally go back and re-listen to everything and like be able to write notes. Come on.
Wow, no.
Hours and hours. But yeah, the giant hornet.
But anyways, it's a Discord channel.
Yeah,
But yeah.
that's what I was
Literally
getting at.
is a
It's like
Discord.
it's a Discord channel.
No,
man.
just 'cause we're not using it. We need to come up with a
For
idea for like actually
I
revitalizing RP on the server. On the
I will
Discord
say
server.
I will say as far as the question goes of is your character the same? Man, Naota's a lot. I always knew she was going to be kind of distrusting and a little bit harsh, but she's turned out a lot more harsh and a lot more rough around the edges. Yeah. And so it is sort of, she has changed. There's a lot of things that happen that it was like, oh yeah, that totally pans out. But then there are things like with the, I think a really good example would be the barrel run. I never thought she'd actually be that competitive. And if it had been her in her past, she wouldn't have been. But something naturally popped out where it was just like, I'm winning this, just so Gomo doesn't.
That was,
Wow.
yeah, that was really very
It was-
very
I
spiteful
actually-
for her to do.
It was
As
my
harsh
favorite
as
thing
it-
to watch though. Like as an outside play,
The
like
other
I'm
one.
not even playing. I loved watching the barrel room was probably my favorite. I loved it. I liked it personally better than the slapping fight.
I like the slapping fight because people did get to see Neelon let loose, you know? But yeah, there was something about the barrel run that, like, I didn't mean to be that harsh, but it came out, but it kind of works with, like, just who
Yeah,
she is and where
exactly.
she comes from.
See, there's a lot of depth, I think. Even though it was just really fun and kind of like just a fun thing to do in general for the whole party, I think there was a lot of depth in what we discovered about our characters. Because like, so the whole thing, like Gomo, I'm role playing, and he's like, you know, he's okay with cheating as long as you know you don't get caught, kind of thing. So he's got that little bit of that moral gray. If it's not like legitimately harming people and it's not going to the extreme, you know, like, oh, I'll get what I want at the expense of someone else's, you know, safety or health or whatever. Like he doesn't go that far, and that's why it's neutral good.
Yeah, which
But
is
it's a
interesting because it
competition.
was like I think I hope I made it clear that she wasn't like if he had actually gotten like severely hurt, she would have actually been like, oh shit, I went too far. But because he wasn't like physically, she was like, okay, this is all still fun and games and this is hilarious. But she did push it a lot further than him.
Right. But
Which
so
I
like
actually like.
no, go ahead.
Which, like, at first I was like, oh man, I went too far. And then I thought about it. I was like, no, I haven't actually played her chaotic neutral, like, before. After the, like, dumbbell incident, I haven't been that, like, chaotic and that forceful with her. She's been pretty passive. It was like, no, it makes sense that she'd start, branching back into that again.
Well, joking aside, that whole thing with the dumbbell and all of that, it was the very first session. We didn't know how we were all going to RP. We didn't know if it was going to be super silly, super serious. We were still feeling things out. So even though like you kind of got a lot of crap for that, like we didn't really know what it was going to be. So you have to start somewhere, right?
Yeah, that was the first
absolutely.
RP anything of our whole campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was like
but it's
Nyota doing the whole
it's still
dumbbell
true
thing and whatever.
character.
That was the
Yeah.
first scene.
Right.
Like
I
minus
will say, though,
maybe the
that
cutscene of everybody being like brought in, getting processed while the credits are rolling
Yeah.
or whatever.
The Skyrim opening, yeah.
Yeah, the Skyrim
Yeah, the
opening.
flying rat was
Like-
definitely probably like
like
if we
it-
went back to do it, I don't know if all that would happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ah, you're awake.
Have some
No, but
courage,
I-
horse thief.
Yeah, there was a lot that I liked about the barrel run because I also feel like Gomo and Nyota had interacted before that, and like they've had some really like awkward interactions, but I think that was the most true to each other that they've interacted, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Like there felt like genuine RP. Like it didn't feel super awkward. And it was very much, it was fun to see them getting along, but in like a competitive way for a minute,
So as far as the competition is concerned, actually, so Gomo, so he's weak, right? I've already mentioned it, so this is not exactly a spoiler. So he has been sick and weak-bodied from ever since birth, and so for him, like mind over body kind of thing. Like if you're smart about how you go about doing things, you can always there's always a way to outsmart people and come out on top. And he kind of that's his approach to solving problems. Like just put more thought into it. So that whole barrel run, borrowing his experience of doing similar things back in his hometown, plus like his use of magic and being sneaky about it, and he thought he would be able to get an upper hand, which he did, but it was overcome severely by not just one but two of his party members, like just absolute beasts of feats like that he couldn't overcome. Even though it was just a friendly competition, it actually made him rethink some of the things, like to consider and reevaluate. I mean, he felt a little spiteful about it, like because like, oh, I thought I had it, but then
Which
what
is
the
fair.
hell? Yeah. I mean, it would have been interesting to see. It would have been interesting to see it turn out like without the dagger. Like if it just ended up fair and square, even though he cheated. If he lost, that I think would have been a much more impactful for him.
Yeah, but it is. This means it can go like in a different way of just like you said, reevaluating things, and also the team is slowly learning each other's strengths and weaknesses, and I think that was definitely a moment of, though Nyota didn't say that she noticed it, definitely a moment of he had told her about the whole a little bit about, having some defects at birth, and she didn't quite wrap her head around it until it was very clear that it's like, okay, he can keep up, but there are things that he has to do to make up for certain things. So a lot of his magic is used to help him because A, B, and C can't be done.
Yeah, it's an enabler.
Like, it's not as easy
him.
for him. Yeah.
It's his way to kind of level the playing field. And, well, I haven't mentioned this, I guess. Wait, did I? I don't think I have. No, I don't think I have. About how he went about nurturing his magic and et cetera, et cetera. But
ooh, spoilers?
no, I'm not gonna talk about it because Gomo hasn't talked about it yet. I do hope like more and more of this comes out. Like I'm kind of like, when is it gonna come out? Or when is the party gonna finally know who he is, like what he's done and what he's trying to accomplish?
Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Like, oh, shoot.
Ta-da.
Who's next?
Ta-da, Mama and Papa.
Questions. Oh, Fish, you had a question for Angel.
Yes, I did. So it was already thrown into one of the chats just because I didn't want to forget it. But so the question for Angel is if Rodon and Gomo had actually found Lily the night that Rodon hit her, would she have actually come back if they talked, or would she have completely blown them off? Also, was it a good thing that she was left alone, or did she actually want, some company, obviously without admitting it?
I don't think she would have gone back that night. Like, no matter how much you guys tried to talk her into it, I don't think she would have gone back that night. But leaving her alone, I'm not gonna say it was a good or a bad thing, because she wouldn't have even expected anybody to come looking for her to begin with. So she wouldn't have had that mentality as like, oh, I want to be alone, because who would come looking for her to begin with? So she wouldn't even be thinking that. So if they had found her, it would have been very unexpected for her that they were actually looking for her. As for, what was the other part of your question?
Pretty much, was it a good thing that she was left alone, or did she actually want company?
That part. Considering what she was doing that night, I think she probably would have wanted someone.
So she would have wanted someone to be around and just be with her?
Since it's not going to happen, I guess I might as well tell you what was going on. She was basically, like I said, she was like sitting up on top of one of the mushroom houses and stuff like that. And she was kind of like people watching, but specifically families, with little kids and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because since she's never had a family, she tends to do that a lot. Just watch other families, just to see what it's like. So yeah, I think she would have been interested in someone actually looking for her and actually being worried, which she doesn't know because nobody found her.
So that actually brings up a question for me, which is, I know Naoto was forceful to be like, Domo, you missed her smack, but like, was that comforting at all? I mean, regardless, she was still gonna do it, but like,
Oh, honestly, I think she was more confused than comforted. She was like, I was just gone for one night. What are you talking about?
Fair enough. Naoto does that to people.
Alright, so that was pretty much my question. Does anyone have anything else?
I am still not home. My list will come. Be prepared. I suppose I could spitball one though. So currently, did any of your guys' characters, where we are now, do they want to, or do they foresee the group staying together? Or if they get the chance, how easy would it be for them to like run off and split off if it gave them the chance to go do the thing that they originally wanted to do? How easy would it be for them to?
For me, actually, I'm pretty sure something like that is going to be brought up at some point once we get to Arden Run. So, you know what? I'm actually going to hold off on that. Anybody else?
As of right now, Lily likes the people that she's with. But she also knows from seeing certain things, you know what I'm talking about, that she's also not in the safest of company. So if an opportunity came that would be more beneficial to her, at this point, she'd probably take it. Probably. That's all I'm going to say with that. Because she is getting pretty close to everybody right now.
Zoma?
Well, so far he has had no reason to reject, and like there are certain, well, there's certain elements of some of the party members that make him kind of worried. Not worried in a sense that like, yeah, I'm not sure about this person. More like, I'm worried about leaving this person alone.
I think we know who that is.
And they're also, I think during the travels, as we travel through Autumnrun, I'm pretty sure a lot of the characters are gonna have some NPCs that are gonna start popping up that's from their backstory possibly. And as a party, as we interact with them, because I mean, it could be that, you know, our characters go off one-off to do, you know, talk to someone. But if we are still in a group or whatever and we run into them, and during those interactions, how the rest of the party chimes in might greatly impact how the party members' relationship might be. Like if the party members are defensive or like would kind of like support each other or whatever, the views. And I think that might be where like the morals come in and how the characters might start seeing how some of them might align very well in terms of how they view the world and what they're looking for in the world. And that might actually prompt to, because and I think the last session kind of touched briefly on it a little bit, it being kind of the whole like weekend, it's a festival for mothers and also just more extensively family, and that kind of prompts the question of like, who is family? Is it just your blood kin, or is there something more than that? Like, what is more important to what defines a family? And I think that might start to play in more and more and help create that bond that keeps the party together more as a family than just as a convenient party travel companion. So I'm hoping to see a little more of that during the travel, and certainly for Gomo, he is gonna have some of those interesting interactions, and I'm sure some of those NPCs might be significant enough figures for the general quest that we're doing. So hopefully that that kind of helps Gomo place the rest of the party members on that spectrum, like who he considers, like how he views them. Like, I don't know. I hope that answered the question, but that's kind of.
Oh no, it really did, because that also opened up the fact that we're, despite how often we play, and despite the time frame that might have passed, and despite what all the characters have gone through, it might sound twisted to say this, but it is kind of nice that most of the team is still very much like, I like you. I'm not dedicated to you, but I like you.
Like,
Because
I'm not gonna give up my life for you, but
for you
hey, you're all
necessarily.
right.
Yeah, but it is
Like,
but it is kind of nice that we haven't gotten there yet. I know that sounds weird because it's like, oh, but doesn't that make it more of a struggle? It's like, well, it's hard for people to get attached to each other when they all have other people they're attached to and their own goals. So it feels really natural that, like, yeah, they're getting along, but this is really, they're getting along because they're kind of the only people they can get along with right now. You know what I mean?
I mean, let's not forget, like, at least everyone present on the call, we literally met each other in a prison.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
Like,
also,
if
we don't know
you
why the
yourself-
other person was put to prison.
Right,
Yeah.
think about it. If you were put in jail, even though you know you didn't do anything wrong, and in your view,
Or
you're
you know
innocent,
you did.
you don't know if everyone else in there might be. Like, if you actually went to prison today, IRL, like, would you consider people that you meet there to be trustworthy? I don't know. I mean, Nyota might not. I mean, like, Nyota might be okay. I mean, I don't know what kind of prison system they have in the Underdark. They might not even have one. I don't know. But
See, the fun part is, like, Naota's, like, you say that, Naota's pretty sure she's the only one that was supposed to be there. Everyone else, she's like, you're too goody-good, you worship a god, I don't know, you seem a little bit shady, but, like, super sweet. And
Wait,
then
who's the shady one?
Lily has secrets. It's clear that she has secrets, but that whole, like, I am adorable. Yoda's like, I don't fucking buy it. Nobody's that cute.
I don't know if cute
But I
would
don't
be
think
the
you're a
word to
terrible
describe
person.
a person who on the first day in prison just takes their top off and just goes crazy.
Yeah.
She didn't take it off with the intention of being like a distraction like that way.
We'll never
It was
find
more
out.
like
Intentions.
it was more like I want to protect my mouse. This is soft.
Uh-huh.
the squishy bat. No, but it's like, I think the biggest person that she's like, I mean, they didn't meet Rodon in the prison, and she's like, yeah, that makes sense. He doesn't look like a prison dude. He doesn't act like a guy that would be found in prison. And then there's Neelon, where it's just like, I mean, he said he saved somebody, and with his whole religious kind of meh, and then how did they even get Gomo in here? Why is he even here? So, like, to her, she's like, I'm pretty sure none of them actually belong there. Me, on the other hand, let's just say the guy deserved it.
Side note real fast on world building, and I know I like mentioned it to you guys in Discord and everything, but for stream, it's interesting to me how much because I'm creating this world, how many things that I have developed thinking that's where we were headed, and then when we head in a different direction, the things that you have built up already. You know what I mean? Like, there are so many things that are already built up that we haven't explored. And I was thinking about the same thing with Critical Role, right? Where it's like, oh no, campaign 2's ended, but there's so much they didn't do, you know? Because, like, he made these things assuming they were going to go there. Like Ukatoa. Like, I mean, maybe within the last, like, 3 or 4 episodes that I missed, they did something with, but they were headed in this direction and went somewhere else. So it's like, okay, where did all that go? They're never going to explore it. And I have the same thing with that. Like, the prison is one of them. There's so much more there that you guys never got to explore. So it's just really interesting. I'm like, well, I guess I'll just sit on this until it happens. If it happens. If it maybe it won't. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a whole different campaign with whole different players, and they'll explore it.
Maybe they'll be smarter than us and figure things out.
Well, it's not necessarily about being smart or not. It's just maybe I didn't give the right clues, or maybe you just never got to the point where you would have done those things. Who knows? And the prison is just an example. There's been plenty of times where there have been things that I was like, oh, it looks like they're headed in this direction. Let me get this prepared, and then you guys take a left. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I have that for later. So it's like I was saying, it's just really cool that that's how a world can get fleshed out, and you don't even have to explore it.
I'm honestly kind of hoping we go back to the prison, or at least nearby, because Dylan's kind of got some unfinished business with that warden.
Yeah. I'm. That's one of the things I need to get on WorldAnvil is more about the prison and warden and all that stuff. I don't have any of him on there. Where's my notes?
Well, I will say that there's a likely chance that we'll go back because Neoda's single thing is still there.
Yeah, it's true. Forgot about that. Yeah.
It's the ruby, right? Or the gem?
Yeah, she's missing her gem thing.
Her little hair gem. Yeah, so we might get to we might still
we're
get to
definitely
that.
Oh no, they more than likely because that's literally her only way home.
That she knows of.
That's
like
true.
It's like a key to the Underdark, right?
Yeah, it has like the power to dispel the magic that's on the doors.
It's an RFID card.
It's exactly what it is. It's an RFID card.
It's a kyber crystal.
Now I have toyed with the idea of her trying to make one, but God, that would take a lot of power. Of course, we do have the book, dude. But usually when you ask for something, you have to give something, so...
My pen pal!
Oh,
Pen pal. How do you guys feel about pen pal?
Was not expecting that.
Full Metal Alchemist situation. Yeah, no, terrified.
Excited.
I love it.
I don't trust it.
So, pen pal, as you guys call it, we're just going to call it pen pal from now on. That concept was, I was trying to think how I could introduce more magical items without them being straight out of the book and or too powerful.
Or belonging.
And I was like, well, let me find some that like maybe other, like if it wanted to be specific character, what could I come up with? And I came up with this thing, which, I mean, I don't want to go too much into it because I don't think you guys have really grasped exactly what it is. So I came up with this thing. And pal idea of it was completely not in the picture. That came up on the fly.
Oh.
So, but it came out of something else.
Huh.
So it was really cool to see where that went.
I do like that we can put things in the book because it kind of gives this feel of like there's so much more about the book that hasn't been unlocked and so much that like Zathian can now do with the book of like, could you shove a person through there? It's like, what can get sent back to us?
Now, I mean, I don't know if the fun, and again, that was one of those moments of like, just like the picture, what have I done? Because as like I said, some of that was made up on the fly. The intention of being able to transport items wasn't there, but when it came up with you guys of like, hey, I wonder if this works. I was like, well, yeah, it kind of would. So I guess we're going there, you know.
Well, have we actually transported anything through it? We haven't, right?
Well, no,
Only a
it was a
page.
map. Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
page.
only a page
Oh,
that
yeah,
would.
you kind of transferred the map.
I wanted
quote
to
unquote.
try a cupcake.
So that's what I was saying. Is so it's like, you know, I was kind of going with like, okay, on the fly we came up with A, B, and C, and then when that happened, you know, we had a week break in between. I'm like, okay, I need to flesh this out more. So then I fleshed it out more, and then when you came up with that, I was like, oh well, I guess the page, yeah, with what I came up with, that would work.
And I
you know?
think it was also partly my fault because like I intentionally prefaced it because of that, and I asked. Maybe I should have been a little more clear with the intent of what I wanted to try. Because I asked before attempting that, asked if the pages all looked like they were from different materials and different sources.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
To try and, you know, ascertain if, was this kind of this book as a collection kind of grew as pages were added, or was it already like a bound something, you know, that was all formed magically, and then you all could only add knowledge and content to it, not actual separate pages. So that's why I asked the question first, and then learning that, there are actually, you know, there are different kind of papers, different parchments, whatever. Okay, let's then try this. And also, like, does it look like it's bound? Like, so like, then kind of like those, you know, binder, you know, notes where you get like, you know, the spring loaded, you know, and then you add more.
Trapper keeper.
Yeah,
you
punctured.
Just add the paper to it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, can I add mine to it? It's like,
yeah.
I'm
So
gonna
it's cool. It's cool to me too to see where that went, and where it's still going, all off of me trying to add magical items.
Mm-hmm.
So cool to me. Like I love that this can happen. And I know I'm pretty sure I've heard other people say this too, but it's one of the things I like about world building is like, you know, it's not just the DM doing it. You know,
Yeah.
we're doing it together. I add something, I bring it to the table and say, here guys, play with this, and we'll see what happens.
Yep, and something
know,
completely
it's so
unexpected might happen. And the thing is, a lot of people confuse the role of DM as having to prepare everything, and like if you didn't write it down before, if it wasn't determined before the session, you can't just make stuff up on the fly. No, that's literally the job of the DM, because this whole entire world is completely open-ended. You cannot program it, you cannot prepare all of it.
There. That's the
Short
color
of
parchment now.
actually knowing the future. Like you cannot. And so decisions have to be made constantly on the fly, and that's a very taxing thing. And due to it, you'll have interesting things happen, like even things that DMs never didn't intend or expect to happen. It happens all the time, actually.
Yep. Yeah, I love it.
One of the things that I find interesting is I've heard so some people, and after hearing this, I kind of agree, that like, you know, dungeon master or game master, like, yeah, that's a great title, but that also, like, you know, that's mostly for the rules side of things. If we're talking about like the RP side of things, or like, you know, being able to tell a story with, you know, the players, in some respects, the players at the helm, really the DM, GM, whatever you want to call it, I feel like is more labeled a storyteller, and I feel like that fits
Yep.
better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like I'm in the camp of like, I feel like that title is more, especially nowadays, more prevalent.
Mm-hmm.
So it fits better. So yeah, storyteller.
Yeah, it's like the DM is just a bard in a tavern telling a story.
I'm sorry. I'm drawing like if Lily's writing in the book right now, guys.
Do it.
Speaking of stories, I'm actually looking forward to expanding on Naota's love of telling stories.
Yeah, that could be interesting. That did go pretty well. I honestly thought that was going to be a Gomo thing.
I mean, maybe he can back her up with like mood music.
Just
Like
so
I
long as it
honestly,
doesn't-
I honestly put that in there for Gomo, but again, it's just really cool to see where that goes.
I didn't even realize that until like, oh wait a minute, this could have been a great opportunity for Gomo to like tell the River Brew story. But like then, you know what? Like, I'm okay with this. This is cool.
So speaking of that story, I'm super torn between wanting Zaphian to make that an actual creature, not to torment Gomo, but just to like fight a new creature that is
Well-
literally new to D&D. Or
Well, the thing
I'm
is,
torn between.
oh sorry, I thought you finished.
Oh no, sorry. Awkward pauses in my speech patterns. I'm torn between having it. If he makes it a real creature, that would be really cool. But I also love the idea of fantasy worlds. To us, a fantasy world having fantasy stories, because it makes sense of just because there's like magic and dragons doesn't mean they wouldn't come up with their own like boogeymans that don't actually exist. You know what I mean? So it's a tear between like, oh man, if he makes that real, that would be really cool. But if it just stays a story, that would be fun too. You know, just a spooky, scary story that you tell people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't think there's enough of that in fantasy stories where people just tell stories that aren't real. A lot of the times they tell the story, and then 5 episodes later, oh my gosh, it's real. Well, of course it is. You live with dragons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting to think of the fact that, like, even if they live in a mystical world where you can literally bring back people from the dead, that they would still creatively think of things wildly outside of their realm of possibility and run with that.
Urban legends are fun.
Angel, he wrote back to you in the book if you look at arts and crafts.
Oh, he's writing back. Okay. Oh snap! He's writing back. All right. Well, I just sent a new message.
That's funny.
Oh no! Is this canon?
That
Is this what's happening between the sessions when she's?
No,
Well-
no.
Honestly, that would kind of be cool though, if it was just like a So like how it was mentioned before, like we could like have interactions between characters, like for example in downtime, like while we're traveling.
Which I'm still waiting for that, by the way.
You know, we can have that interaction. I wonder if this is one of the ones that's like, okay, this could actually be an interaction while we're like on the road.
mm-hmm.
This is my friend. I
What?
love her little snaggle teeth. It's so perfect. At some point, I wonder if we should have an art drawing thing where it's like, how do your characters see the other characters? And everyone just sees Naota as an angry possum. Just
Matt breaks the fourth wall.
And
Speaking of which, hey DM, can I have a possum pet? Pet possum.
Possum pet?
Yeah.
You already tried a dinosaur, it didn't go over so well.
Okay,
gotta
but
roll
my rolls have been
nature,
getting a
gotta
lot better.
roll animal handling.
My animal
Gonna have to
handling
come
is
up
Great.
gonna have to come up in game sometime. We'll see.
Awesome. That's not a no. Which
better
now
not
that I
be.
think about it would just be which now that I think about it would be hilarious. She just comes by with a possum in her arms. She's like, "All right, like guys, let's go." And she's like, fuck are you doing? What is that?
One thing I thought would be really funny to do, and I wanted to do at one point was, because like everybody was like, "Oh, kobolds are so cute," blah blah blah. And I was like, wouldn't it be funny if like kobolds showed up in every single session of some form or fashion, even if they were just like randomly there?
Oh gosh, we just get tired of them, and we're just like, get out of here.
Yeah. So like,
Pests of the world.
but then like it quickly every time we were actually in session, I would just forget. So.
Well, I mean, we
quickly give
did
up
have
on
a
that.
session with a few kobolds, so.
Well, yeah, that's where that came from. Like I
Well-
was thinking in my head, it's like, oh, I want to add them. Like I just want to have them running around or whatever, and then forgot after like one session. So
Just out and about, randomly in the background. Like you see a little broken down carriage over there. Like, oh, something just scurried off as you approach it. Oh, it's a kobold.
Speaking of which, every party eventually adopts something. I'm curious what our party is going to adopt.
A possum.
A possum. Because like in Critical Role, they adopted like Kiri and a bunch of other people. It's like I'm curious.
And maybe
what we're
an
gonna
axolotl, and maybe a wolf, maybe an
adopt. Oh
owl.
damn it!
oh so by the way,
Maybe
speaking of the dinosaur, there were specific
Oh.
reasons why that wasn't working.
Oh fuck.
Also apostrophe RE.
Damn it, Yodi! I knew somebody was gonna make the joke of we already adopted somebody. It's Neoda. Oh my gosh! Wait, she is the adopted child of the team, isn't she?
So if anybody's wondering what the heck is happening on screen right now, Lily is writing to Mav, the magic book, the sentient magic book, or so we think. Or well, Goma has a alternative theory, but for all intents and purposes, for now, as far as we know, we can treat it like a sentient book. But she's writing in it, talking to it, and Mav is actually writing back, and those responses are in the Discord server on the Arts and Crafts channel. So if you're kind of curious, what the hell is
that's
she
what
writing
they were.
about?
See, I couldn't.
Go
Yeah,
and
'cause
look
I
it up
couldn't
in the
find
Arts
the
and Crafts
answers.
channel. Yep.
Okay. Oh, I see it. Actually, Naota, just. Damn it, Neela.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
but like now that I knew someone would make the joke, but now that the joke's been made, I can't deny that like.
I'm sorry, Yodi.
He's mean.
Oh, no, go back to the end joke. Mine now.
Oh, that's so fun.
Rude.
Oh, Rodon's sad now.
Aw. No going back to the Underdark mine now. Oh, I didn't realize my character was gonna be the adopted lost child.
So
Oh god,
if-
I am the adopted lost
MOUSE.
child. I barely know common. I don't know where I am. I am literally lost. Damn it.
Can't tell
So
if that's a bear or a baby.
I put whiskers on it.
Oh, okay.
Gotta add the whiskers.
Oh, sister. It's the
Oh.
mouse.
Wait.
What were you gonna say?
Change the silhouette a bit. That might get copyrighted.
That's why I was like,
I don't like the
MOUSE.
chances. I don't like the
Mocky
chances.
Mouse. Mocky Mouse.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's so borked. My audio interface says my whistling is background noise.
Aw.
Fuck off. But yeah, no. If
Whenever she hits the wall, she would speak.
Squeak,
Oof.
squeak.
if so, Neelan is the father. Who was it? That was the mom. That was
Como?
Como.
okay.
I
Gomo's
still don't
mom.
understand why Gomo's the mom.
So then, what is? So now we have adopted feral child. What does that make Rodon and Lily?
Well, Lily's the angsty teenager. I mean, that's pretty obvious.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
She's a moody, edgy like
Yeah.
teen. It's like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna talk to my Seti diary.
Maybe Rodon.
Yeah,
She's got
what
it. She's got. It's like her death note.
Oh my god. Just been writing an awful lot of names.
No.
She has too. She's writing everybody's name in there.
Look, this is Gomo. See, Nayoda smart. Hasn't written her name yet. Because she said not to say her name in the book.
Yeah. Then what about Rodon? What family member is he?
Yeah. What stereotype can we give Rodon?
He's the no nonsense uncle.
Yeah, I was about
Or
to say
the,
probably
or the
uncle.
angry neighbor. I don't know.
Angry neighbor.
Mr. Wilson.
Oh, yeah. I kind of like the uncle.
You kids
more.
at it. You kids at it again.
Oh my gosh, he's
Keep
like
it
a
down.
curvier Uncle Iroh.
Oh gosh. Uncle Iroh.
Rest in peace. But okay, so we have the moody teen, the adopted feral child, the mom, the dad.
Uncle Irodon.
I wrote on.
Wow.
Love it.
Apple's gonna sue us for that. You know that, right?
Yeah, probably.
I wrote on. Oh, Yodi's like, you know what? I'm okay with this comparison. I mean, if you think about it, he does have like that kind of when he's not freaking out, that kind of chill wisdom
Well, they stop
about him.
stop naming things I something. Everything new is all Apple,
minute.
whatever, Apple, whatever. Like Apple Tag, Apple Watch. It's not iWatch, it's Apple Watch. Took people a while to kind of familiarize with that name. Everyone used to call it iWatch. Segue.
right.
Anyways,
just
Can
can't
I-
get over the fact
new
that
question?
he's doing for
new
this.
question.
Okay, guys. I need legit answers to this. You won't hurt my feelings. I need pros and cons of the campaign so far.
Ooh.
Too short, but that's because I'm sad and could do this for
Too short. I feel like we barely started barely
I know. Yeah.
started chapter 1 if this was like a book.
Yeah. For reals.
like we haven't
I mean,
like
in
to
each session. I mean,
Mhm.
like it's that. Then again, I'm crazy and I could do this like for 12 hours.
Well, I'll take that as a pro because all that's telling me is you want to keep going. So I'm okay with this.
yeah.
100%. Definitely want to keep going.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But it still is a con of just like every time we end, it's sad. So it's both. It's a pro and a con.
We want more. But like it's like if we were to compare the story arc, and I don't claim to know where this is going at all, but I would imagine like we haven't even made it to like if this was Lord of the Rings, we made it to Bree, and then we got out, and then we were like on our way to where is it? Like Rivendell?
Yeah, like
Oh,
you're
yeah.
really not even that far.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten to Rivendell, in my
We,
opinion.
if this was Lord of the Rings, they barely left the Shire.
No, I
long
mean
that book
I think they lived.
Are we talking book or movie? Because with how long that book is, they took forever to fucking get anywhere.
So there's also multiple things going on at the same time as well. if you guys weren't aware. You are now. There's multiple things going on right now, and one thing that I've because you take a lot of inspiration from a lot of things, in Critical Role is one for me, but one thing that Matt always said is regardless of what you guys are doing, the world keeps turning, right? It's still moving, things are still happening.
It's organic.
So there have been things that have been touched upon. There have been things that you guys are a little more in the middle of, and there's things that you guys are following. And regardless, things are happening in all around you regardless. So that's cool too, that they're, even if you think you're only on one path, that doesn't mean other ones won't diverge. Rivendell's the next major scene. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we haven't.
Because I feel like that's what the equivalent would be when we get to Arden Run.
Speaking of which, gosh, I think that terrifies me the most, because as much as I want the whole team to get out of it, the fact that Lily and Gomo have died almost every single fight is like, we haven't even met a big bad yet. It's just like, oh my god, please.
Gomo hasn't died yet.
It's just
One
been
hit
me.
point. And
Not
yet you ran
once has he
around
gone to
with
0 hit
crazy
point. He's gone to
That's
1.
just been me.
You lucky
Yeah.
bastard.
He's gone to
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
That's
weren't you
one
at one hit
close.
point?
Yep.
But not 0.
1 hit point. Not 0.
Got to one
He
hit
was
point,
never
and then he was
unconscious.
running around the battlefield like a crazy man.
And it was only once.
Still, those two have been the closest to dying compared
Well,
to
we
the
two are the have the smallest health
you're the
pool, and
first
for
two.
whatever reason, we seem to be targeted.
I'm not even sure if it's that. It's lack of hit points plus. I mean,
I think it's just situation. I think it's situational. Like I don't intentionally target anybody. It just happens to be situational. Like I just try to think like, okay, if this thing had a brain, who would it go after? Like, a healer. Okay. If it doesn't have a brain and it's a beast, who would it go after? Whoever's closest. That type of thing. It's just, so it just a lot of times it's just situational.
Yeah, because like with for example, the wind could have tried to go after you, but like it's already hitting like Naota, so it's gonna keep hitting the thing it knows it's hitting. Of course, Naota didn't help in that situation of just like, I'm just gonna hold you, don't leave me.
Unless Lily has a cursed magic item, then maybe she's a little targeted.
Yeah, maybe. Just a little bit.
Rip Lily Olin. Here lies the tiefling teenager.
So what other haven't heard any cons, guys. Come on. What do I need to work on?
I don't know, I'm
Gotta be
thinking
something.
Okay, this is just a personal thing. I need you to do women voices, please.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I need the nastiest lady voice you can do.
Well, I do believe I did say in the very, very, very beginning, don't expect me to do all sorts of voices because I can't.
But
I'm not expecting like anything like Matt Mercer. I just want to hear a little bit of a
actually,
What?
I have a request.
Okay, what's your request?
If your partner's ever up for it, and this is a very big like if they're up for it, maybe they could do some voices.
That would be really cool, but she actually wanted to play at one point. And we even discussed character stuff, but she's never awake because she has to work early in the mornings. So she's never like. I mean, she has to work at like 6 a.m. like early. So
it makes sense. It was just one of those. I noticed that you've had a few couples in the campaign, and I was like, oh, but wouldn't that be cute if the DM and his couple decided to RP the couples? Oh!
I to be honest
Like
with you,
Randall and his wife.
think she'd be way too nervous to do that.
Oh, and
I'm just
that's,
being realistic.
no, absolutely. And it was more of a silly request because if she wants to, I want her to feel comfortable, like popping in if she wants.
That is something that would be super cool, though. To be honest with you.
What is happening in this drawing?
Dude,
Yeah.
she looks
It's-
like she reminds me
it's
of the
what we
girl from
asked
the Lego
for.
Wild Style.
Yeah, I was
us the
actually
best-
thinking that.
Yeah, give us your best lady impression.
Well,
Something,
I mean, to
something,
Angel, it'd be
blah,
something like,
blah, blah.
"Hi,
Piece
my
of
name is
resistance,
Lady
blah blah.
Voice. Haha."
Yay!
I need that NPC now. My name is Lady Voice.
My
Yeah,
name is
that's-
Lady Voice.
That falsetto head voice. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I will settle for nothing less.
Yep, it's perfect.
All right. Default Lady Voice has been created.
Like, oh my god, the paladin is like the cutest.
TPK inbound.
Oh my god, did you see? He's totally thankful for the drink they gave him.
It's like
Yodi,
ne-
do not drag me into this.
my god.
Like,
next-
oh my god, that paladin is like the cutest.
I fucking hate both of you. All of you. All of you. Yeah, no correction. All of
That's
you.
on stream.
and come next week we start the session. It's like welcome to Stream for Initiative. We're finally at our last episode. Like, what?
Yes.
The DM
This
knows
is the
something
last
the party
episode because the
doesn't.
paladin killed his entire party and then himself.
Neelon Banderas.
Oh, it's all the names. It's all the names Lily's been writing in the book.
Why am I the meme?
She draws a death card on tarot.
You're not always the meme. To be honest, if of everybody that we've drawn as memes and everything, I think Lily has had the most with like the Disney princess, Batman,
Oh yeah,
Goth. Like I think Lily's been
freaking
we are-
Thanos.
I think we're all equally memed. We just like to rip on Neelon about particular things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you think about it, Naota's entire meme is just chucking stuff at people.
Yay.
Apparently
Question.
being a barbarian. A tiny,
Yeah.
tiny barbarian.
Question.
Question.
Mhm.
What's our party name?
Mhm.
Because it's tentatively, it is tentatively Misfits. Like, is that gonna be the actual party name?
I don't know.
I
I
think I like the idea of just an NPC popping it out and it just sticking with other NPCs. If that makes
Listen,
sense. Like, it would be cool for us.
You
to
don't
ourselves.
want that. I'm telling you. You
That
don't
sounds
want
more
me.
like-
You don't want me to come up with your name because it will be not. It will be something you don't like. I'm telling you. Catatonic
it's
dipshits.
one of
I'm
those-
telling you.
Well, it doesn't even have to be like something that like just an NPC. Like if you hear a name that we throw out, Zaphine, and you like it, and you think it's really fitting, and then it pops up in story, I feel like that's a lot more natural than like the team trying to name themselves. Unless it's really looking like the NPCs don't give a shit; they just want us to do a job and then leave.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm all for that. I have asked in character also for a name just to like let you guys know that like, hey, you know, I'm gonna hint at this until you guys come up with something, and then once you come up with something, if it sticks, it sticks. If not, whatever. Like that's why I was like, you know, Band of Misfits. I've written them all down. Like I wrote those two down because those were the big ones. Was Band of Misfits, and I just thought catatonic dipshits was funny, so I wrote it down. So I'm gonna keep using it until you come up with something else.
But it is funny. Also, what was the thing that Fish calls us when we're being assholes?
Oh god, shitbags.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Shitbags. Yeah.
Bags.
Lovable shitbags.
Because
We
you
need to
all
call-
are, you all are shitbags.
Sorry, so is Delon a little bit.
No, he's angry.
He's an
not
angry
a shitbag. No, the three of you together doing the barrel run. Y'all are shitbags.
Yay, I'm not a shitbag.
I would say
You're an
that
angsty
Rhoda
shitbag.
As far as anybody's concerned, I have not done anything shitbaggy during that race. Nobody has no evidence against that. Like,
But we know. We know.
Yeah, no, we know it's not like super a parrot, but it is funny. It's funny. It's just like
Yeah, Yodi has a point. Yodi didn't.
You cheating fuck! Don't you start in with that bullshit.
He has channeled his inner strength. That's all.
Yeah,
Can
all
you
that
really
means is
call
he's
that
fat.
cheating? Like he just like. Can you say then any anime protagonist that has a little bit of flashback or like has a like just a blink moment of like, oh wait, I remember I have nakama, like then now they're cheating all of a sudden?
That was not a power of friendship moment. So yes, cheating.
You're not a monk. You don't know. You can't claim to know how ki works.
Fish, when did he get in the chat? Hi. Hi,
What, Kama?
Crazy? Yeah, Kama.
Kama crazy game.
Kama
What?
crazy.
That
crazy.
is that's my buddy Ian. We played Among Us with him.
Nice.
He was also the one that was visiting California not too long ago.
Oh
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sad I missed you, but hi. But also
So,
like,
Yeah, that's
hope
that
you get
shit.
to watch the streams.
Are we doing that? Yes, we're doing this. We're fucking doing this. By the way, today, as you can tell, today is not a session day, so it's gonna be next.
Yeah.
Today, no
Hopefully we
session,
can
just
finish
Q&A. If you have
Also,
questions,
we can have YouTube.
A lot of
we
chit
have
chat.
answers.
Yep.
Yes. If you have questions, ask us. You fuck.
Ask
can do that. He's
questions.
one of my
Ask the fact that Fish apparently has the most attractive half elf on the team. We keep making jokes about it.
Yes, the most attractive half elf.
It's
to
not
ever
hard being the
grace
most
our
attractive
presence of the
half elf
team
when you're the only
when you're
half
the
elf
only
on the
one.
party. Yep.
Exactly.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Is it because I'm tan? Is that what's going
You also have
No,
the
it's because you're
luscious
Antonio Banderas.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it could be a
Exactly.
contributing factor. I wouldn't.
I mean,
It's a
I wouldn't
lot of
dismiss
tan
it.
skin,
eyes.
tan skin people are very attractive. Thank you very much.
I mean, he has the tan skin, the
With
blue
the flowy
eyes, the hair.
yeah, the dreamy eyes, and yeah,
It's not too long, but it's not too short. It's just
tall.
I mean,
yep. And Yodi has the most
Not
attractive
bulky. I
dragonborn.
think, as far as I remember, just kind of lean. That model body, right? Like that's how I
Okay,
would
but, like,
describe.
all jokes
That's
aside-
the
all jokes
image in my
aside,
mind.
All jokes aside, though, I actually do think Rodon would be a fairly attractive dragonborn.
charismatic, attractive dipshits. There's your
Charismatic, attractive dipshit.
get bags. Get bags.
Actually, Neilon, my image is he's not like super wide, but he's definitely like bulkier and like I wouldn't say stout, but like stockier, I think is the
Oh,
So,
okay.
like,
the right term.
So then,
I give up.
Than most half elves.
No, that's a good picture.
then if it was if it was
I was trying to draw Lily as a
princess.
Disney princess, but Disney's like really hard to draw.
Yeah.
They used a lot of
Charismatic dipshits has a good ring to it.
color and highlights and tones versus line work.
He's gonna kill you all. I'm surprised he hasn't. I'm surprised he
It
hasn't.
does have a good ring to it. That's why it's really close to catatonic dipshits, which I had written down. So charismatic dipshits is better.
Yeah.
What about charismatic?
But seriously, though, guys, like what we
Charismatic
do,
misfit.
what we do in this campaign might actually be recorded as legends. Do we really want songs singing about charismatic dipshits?
Yes.
And all the bards having to come up with rhymes for that, and like,
Whoa! Are you guys?
how are they
being
gonna
serious?
sing this to their kids? Like,
Bro, they're gonna have to learn verses one way or another.
Well, you know what?
So good.
I
Or-
still
maybe
like
just
this
5
type
dipshits, and
of
each of us
data.
have different like adjectives described. It's like, here's the
Oh, the 5
charismatic
dipshits,
dipshit.
just
Here's the
Yes, yes. Is this like a Three Amigos? The 5 dipshits.
Three caballeros.
Fish came up with another good one if we want to, take out the cursing. Charismatic misfits is kind of cute.
misfits, charismatic misfits.
I think that's what Fish said earlier.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Misfits reminds me of the band.
Are we not one?
Dude, I
Still
want
looking
you all.
for
Oh my gosh.
opportunities. I'm still looking for opportunity to cast more silence.
And the best song for you guys is a song called "I'll Form the Head."
Yes.
No, Trogdor.
I thought our song was "Don't Never Split the Party." You never split the
Soon enough, it
party.
might be Don't Fear the Reaper.
Why isn't our party
that-
name
ooh,
just
that
talk
one
about
too.
it later? I know we joked
We're
about
good.
it.
We
But-
are actually going to get to that, I swear.
Really? Because
all of
Neoda
it.
just thinks it's that threat that parents give that they never follow up on at this point.
Oh, just give it time.
I love it. I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised Neon hasn't strangled Neoda yet.
Can I hear about that one party? We'll talk about it later. It's like who's on first? No, I want to hear about it now. No, we'll talk about it later. No, I want to talk about it now.
No, but I want to know what their name
No,
is.
now was
Yeah,
the
we'll
other
talk
party.
about it later. Yeah. Oh my god, I love it.
Talk about it now.
No,
happens
now was
later. What?
yesterday. Today we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, it's basically like, oh yeah, did you see the new team? Yeah, what are they called? We'll talk about it later. But I want to know what they're called. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. What?
So why can we talk about it now? Like, no,
No, that's a different. No, that's a different.
no, talk
thing.
about it now.
What?
Talk
No,
about
we're
it
not
now.
talking about a different thing. Alright.
That should be a skit you guys come up with, and then do it at the next bar
Oh
meetup.
gosh.
Oh my god.
Oh,
You guys will win for sure.
oh my God.
Oh my god, it's that fucking weird dragon buff arm thing.
Trogdor. Burninating the countryside.
Trogdor. What? That's actually a
Am I
really good
drawing-
drawing of
Am I drawing this
It
right?
is.
You're
Yeah.
drawing it absolutely right.
Actually, yes.
You're hitting all the
Okay.
marks.
Like,
I'm doing it from memory.
Consonant V's.
This is
Where's
from
the, yeah, the
memory.
wing?
I'm
Impressed.
thoroughly impressed. This is like
I feel like he's too fat.
That's fine. You
no,
just have S's and
no,
consonant
it's
V's.
it's Hollywood. It's fine. It's a remake, so they wanted to be very like, body positive about it.
also, I can't wait for the day where I can slap the ever-living shit out of Thale.
I mean, he
No-
did say
no,
that you guys
no.
were in trouble.
You
Like,
might get an
Neilon's
you might get
fucking
an
angry.
Yeah.
Like, he is actually pissed.
Dale is so smug about it too. He's loving the fact that you're angry about it. He's absolutely freaking loving it.
How do you spell his name?
Trogdor?
Uh-huh.
Trog.
D-O-R, right?
Yeah.
Burninator?
The Burninator.
I'm looking forward to the day Neilon goes to fight him because I want to see the other reactions.
Trogdor was a man.
There we go, guys. Trogdor.
So can we all agree that if Neilon kills Thale, nobody's gonna talk about it? We're just gonna bury him.
Wow.
What?
What?
Wow.
I'm just saying.
I think your inner Neota's showing. God.
Nobody talks about this. We just.
Oh, you missed an N in there.
Did I?
You wrote Bernie.
Yeah, Berniator.
How do I spell
Good
it?
shit.
Burninator. You just missed it's Nator.
I'm just
Bernie
saying.
Sanders.
Yeah, Inator.
Angry
Berniator.
Since when has Angry Neilon spared that many people so far?
Sanders the
I mean-
Berniator.
Yay!
Forgotten, then everybody got mad because we forgot he existed. Yeah, exactly.
Just saying, the healer is going to wail on him. I don't know if he's gonna get healed again.
I don't think Daniel would be happy with that. If you forgot. If you forgot him.
Rodon.
Rhoda, damn it.
Is it? It's Rodon
Marion, because you forgot it.
Smackinator.
But
The
in all
Shockinator?
seriousness- But in
Rodon the Shockinator. You just gotta change the breath to like lightning bolts. And...
Wah! Right. But in all seriousness, I am looking forward to Neilon and Thale fighting.
Thale's gonna get the
'cause that will be
Neilon
very
treatment. Beat up, cure
Oh,
wounds,
man.
beat up, cure wounds, beat up, cure wounds.
That's the best.
God.
That's the best form of
Like,
torture right there.
no, like seriously, like right hand just slaps for damage, left hand slaps for the healing touch.
So, like, I'm gonna be honest. So you said Daniel wouldn't really be happy with that. Well, you know what? He's honestly not too concerned what Danny Boy over there thinks. The one he actually would be worried about would be Kalenthal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I was a little
Oh.
disappointed though that it didn't like. I was intentionally trying to come up with like make an inside joke or something with the getting his name wrong all the time. It's like,
Oh no, that worked. You did.
well, nobody else caught on to it, so, or joined in on it. So I was like, I felt like I was pushing it a little too hard.
I had Lily call him the wrong name once or twice, but that's because I actually did forget his name.
I've definitely found it amusing because it's just like
Yeah, no, I think we all understood what you were doing. I just don't think
Okay.
anybody.
I was just kind of like, waiting for him to like retort, like.
No, because like
He
I
was-
find
he
it
was
funny
trying
that
to be
Naota
patient
wasn't
with it.
there every time. Yeah, Naota wasn't
like,
there every time you guys like.
Now look here, Daryl, Daniel, like whatever. See, I just wanted that kind of.
I just realized fish.
Ah.
Thale is our God, what?
What?
I can't believe I just forgot what
Pet?
his name. No, Thale is the
punching bag.
NPC that we abuse.
Yeah, punching bag.
Oh my
I
god.
was thinking more like
Another
Yes.
word.
Yeah, no, I can't believe I forgot him. But like Taz, the little boy that they're all like, "Oh God, you're here."
Oh no, I was thinking more sprinkle, but sure.
You were thinking he's more sprinkles.
Sprinkle.
Poor sprinkles.
You're gonna find
No,
a possum, and
technically,
that possum's gonna be Sprinkles.
Well, considering that Sprinkles is basically at this point an undying eldritch being, yes, I want an eldritch possum. Please and thank you.
Yeah.
Nah.
I love that. Like,
Nah.
oh, shit.
No, he's not dead. Come on,
No.
Boof.
Considering all the things that he went through.
Oh, it's
Actually,
even more fitting because it's a possum.
So actually, legit quick question for Zafian and Gomo.
Yeah.
Are you guys caught up with the final episodes?
No, nope.
Don't worry about
Nope.
me. I don't mind spoilers, but I know Zafian
I do.
does, and he's
I
not
know.
caught up.
I'm like 4 episodes back.
All right, I'm going to be right back real quick, you guys. So
Okay.
I have this picture of Rodon. I'll be back.
But it sounds like you guys are gonna have
Yeah.
to talk about it later.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about it later. Sorry, I know it's hard.
I'm just gonna shoot a message over to you, Gummy.
No, it's okay. We've been doing it too.
No, yeah, Zafian's been doing
Gomo's
that
easier.
too.
It's like really easy, Gomo. Damn it. It doesn't help that like we have our names, like you guys have your names on there. Mine's easier because it's you're not gonna call me World Creator. So
We should just, dear world creator, grant us your wisdom. Yum, 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 yum.
wait, no, here I got it. I changed my name. Come on, move, screen.
hmm?
Sorry.
Back to actually, I have a question for Zafian.
Yes.
Do you have plans on making the slime get bigger?
That sounds like a spoiler.
So
Because she has, even if I don't say it in game, she does feed the thing every day. Like, I want to make that clear.
here's what I'm gonna say about the slime.
Mhm.
There are things you have no idea. Just telling you now, there are things.
I swear to God, Neelon, if you kill my slime.
You have no idea what's going on in
Is it
my
alive right now,
crazy
though?
brain. I don't know. You should check the next time we're playing.
She's been feeding it every day.
You've been dropping food into acid every day. You don't know if it's alive or not.
Granted, I do know that, like, canonically, because I did look it up, they can't get through glass. So
You don't know if it's actually a gelatinous slime or not. It could be something completely different. You don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even better.
Man,
Actually.
I'm just excited to see if that ends up going. I mean, it's going to end up getting somewhere eventually. That's all I can really say.
Look, all I'm saying is I had an idea about if she ever runs into a really shitty person. I'm just saying, what would happen if you drank part of a gelatinous slime? Nobody knows. So, yeah, there's that.
Also, this slime could be the most terrifying of D&D monsters. Homebrew.
Yeah. Don't think I haven't. I mean, you know that I've embraced homebrew with the dinosaur stuff, but there's definitely more. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm excited to see where the slime thing can go.
I'm excited too because my baby, I want to watch him grow up.
I guarantee it is not what you think it's gonna be.
I love
Guaranteed.
I
get to see my
really hope we
child
don't
grow
have to
up.
fight that thing.
That's gonna be a no from me, dog.
No, see, you guys are looking in the wrong
I'm
direction.
happy I always have access to my cantrip to start fires, and that thing is very flammable.
You know,
That's
We
the
don't know
only
if it's
reason
totally
Gom was
different.
letting you keep that thing in the first place.
You know, the sad part is if it starts getting bigger, she's not going to tell anybody.
We have fireball. We're good. Yep.
Yeah, sure, totally.
Oh, we don't actually have fireball.
Yeah, not anymore.
No. Maybe later.
Corrosive jello. Mm.
What flavor is that? It's definitely lime.
Yeah, it's acidic enough
Pinto
to
of
be
slime
lemon,
or
baby.
key lime?
Look, I'm just saying, if she
Cheese
did,
lime pie?
I am legitimately
lime
curious to see what would happen if you accidentally drank a piece of that thing.
Yeah, that would be interesting, huh? We should try it.
Oh, she's not going to. She might volunteer somebody else though, if they're a big enough asshole.
What was your alignment again?
Chaotic neutral.
Listen, her alignment changes every session. Okay, just go with it.
Does it? Okay, in all seriousness, does it actually? Like, am I that bad with it?
I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. As long as I feel that the RP and then the character flows, like if I can go, yeah, I can see her character doing that. I don't really care. I don't really think too much about the alignment because I feel like our characters are already established enough. That's just my opinion. But you know, I understand that other people.
Well, my question is the established character Nyota now actually
True.
neutral? Is my question.
Okay, I'm back.
Yodi
Okay.
says her alignment is chaotic. Yes.
Chaotic, yes.
Chaotic, yeah. Oh, I love it. No, but
Yes,
But-
very chaotic. That is true.
See, the thing with her is, and that's why I emphasized if the guy was an asshole, because she's not just gonna drop it in some random person's drink and see what happens. But if they run into some rich dick that's like trying to stop them from continuing forward and just being a complete like nuisance, maybe.
Listen, you can have whatever thoughts you want. Doesn't mean you have to act on them, right?
Oh, exactly. Just imagine she starts reaching into her bag and Ronan's like, no. And it's like, meow, meow.
Put it down.
Yeah.
What am I missing? I just got that.
Assassinations.
Chaotic, yes. That's what you're missing.
Oh, okay.
Chaotic,
Alignments.
Yeah, chaotic, yes. The hole in your backpack's gonna say volume.
What hole?
Oh. But
Alright, well, I'm deleting this. Say goodbye.
though
I wrote on the Chakanator.
Oh, see, I still don't think we've given Zaphian pros and cons yet, have we?
No, we skipped it. It's okay.
Well,
It's okay.
no,
I'm just
I was
assuming there
actually I
aren't any.
wanted to come back to that actually.
Oh, okay.
That's
And so I don't think it's a con, but like so from a kind of RP perspective for this is my personal preference. So
Mhm.
I think it's a little easier to RP and get the story moving when there are a few more constraints for the players. Like there are unknown timers or interruptions.
Okay. I tried that with when were we? Oh, okay. So there's basically when you guys had to escape the ruins, right? A lot of that with the slime, with things like that. That was all basically like a timer. Some people had problems with that, so that's why I haven't really pushed that too much.
Okay.
But yeah, you're not the first person. And a lot of other DMs, like I was watching this one guy, and he said timers are your best friend. You know, with a lot of different instances, even if, like you said, it's unknown. Like if you just for me as a DM, I'd be like, okay, you have this much time, I'm timing this, and then of course that DM, he literally puts it on the table and goes, okay, here's the timer. It just doesn't say anything, just
D6 and
puts it right there, and yeah. So I tried that too. I don't know if you remember, it was only one time. I put like a die and I just kept flipping it over. Like I actually didn't even say anything. I just kept doing it. Like
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was going on.
Yeah, I literally had it on camera, and I was just every once in a while I would just flip it over and just, But you guys made it before that. So I've tried it multiple different ways, but that one I don't know about the whole dice thing, because like I think it like we were talking about with what were we talking about? I asked you guys in Discord if you guys would like that, where I was like, if you could see something. You're like, no, it would be better if it's random.
Oh, like the DC.
Yeah,
If we-
DC
if we
checks.
knew
Like
what the DC is
if
for,
it's
if you
more
succeeded
out
or
there
failed.
for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah, when it comes to like the DC of certain checks and that sort of thing, like having that unknown variable of, oh god, did I make it? For me personally, makes it more interesting.
Or like based on the
So-
outcome, you might not be able to tell if you succeeded or failed. You just know what happens. Like,
Yes.
right.
did it happen because you beat the DC, or did it just happen because for other reasons? You don't know. Like, I think that makes
So
sense.
could you give me some examples of timers of previous like sessions, so I know more of, like, because I mean the when I think of timers, it's usually when it comes to something either combat related or, like I said, you're escaping something. But are there other instances you could give me examples of?
Oh my god, thank you so much for the raid.
Hey, welcome.
Whoa!
Hey,
Yeah.
Look at that! Just wander on. It's frequent flyer. Welcome.
Can we introduce ourselves and the characters that we play?
Oh, I was just checking out your stream actually before we started. I was showing them your guys' artwork.
Yep.
oh yeah, that's right.
Oh, that was the group. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
We're
welcome.
partner groups now.
Yep. Welcome.
What's the word
Your
I'm looking
art's
for?
really
Sister
great,
group.
by the way.
Yeah, whoever did it. We are actually skipping a session tonight because Yodi Gaming, who's in chat, is one of our players and cannot make it. So it's more of a Q&A / artwork / just kind of hanging out. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
Zaphian is the DM.
Yeah, I'm doing some random drawing too, so ignore what. So, yeah, you just missed some random stuff. I didn't know
anyways,
what else to do.
Going back to what we were saying, Gummy, can you give me some instances? Maybe? Thank you for the follow, Rainbow.
Let me think. So I think it was more for like just general RP things where we were just in town, where we had a lot of freedom to do whatever.
Okay, all right, I see what you're saying now. So like, make a time limit of like how much time you guys have, so we can move on with the story and stuff.
Or yeah, something. I'm not sure how to implement that well though, because kind of off time in the town, out of combat, just shopping and doing stuff like that tend to get very lengthy. It's very easy to get lengthy with that.
Maybe on some of those instead of a timer, maybe those could certain things like if it's really just shopping for potions, maybe those are something we can shoot Zaphian a message between games, and if we are in a town, those could easily be like.
Yeah, I mean it's I'll do whatever you guys want to do. You know, I just assumed you guys wanted to RP it. If you don't want to RP it, you know, hey, we don't have to. Just like you said, like say, okay, I want to buy some things. What do you want? I want this, this, and this. Okay, it'll be this much money. Okay, moving on. We can do that. I'm all for it. I just thought RPing was, you know, part of it. So.
RPing is fun.
Yeah,
going along with what you guys want.
Do you know what else would be pretty fun? Not that you don't have to do this. I was just thinking about it right now. But, you know, like, to do the kind of, like, the random events, like, when we're traveling. But, like, say, like, we're in town or something like that. Like, roll a dice and, like, I don't know, someone tries to steal our coin purse or something like that.
Oh, like, things like that would be
I'm surprised we haven't had anybody try to steal from us yet.
That's what I was actually thinking, too. As part of... Because the world is very... So now things are coming back to me. So, and this is obviously not in a I don't say it in a bad way, but it can almost feel like a theme park.
Mm-hmm.
The world that we inhabit right now as our characters, it's like everything revolves around them. I think it would be interesting if there were elements that make us feel like a smaller part of the bigger thing, where there are other organic items, like someone just randomly pickpocketing us, or just random events, or street fight going on, or bar fights randomly breaking out, or a store like we're in there shopping and then gets robbed, or I don't know, just random
the
events.
world more life.
I love how you said bar fight, because like,
oh god,
like
slap fest round 2.
Like, out of the entire crew, I'm like, I actually had this thought. I was like, the two people that would probably start a bar fight are Neelon and Neoda.
So it's yeah, I mean, I definitely wrote that down. That's good information. I find it interesting that you feel that way, because I just assumed it wasn't, because I mean, think about like the town you're in now. That whole event that's going on was going to happen regardless if you were there or not.
Mm-hmm.
So,
like, even if we decided to like move on without staying an extra day.
Yeah. So I mean, that was happening. So I mean, but that's good information, because that gives me, like you said, I now understand better of like how you feel about it, which is cool.
Actually,
I think the thing is, so I guess I as a player is looking for more interrupts to react to from the world, not just information being presented. What do you want to do? Kind of, here are all the options and things you can think of.
Gotcha.
Where the scene is described to me and I decide where to go, like things that are forcing me into like a forced cutscene, whatever. Like but
so
that's only because
you need more rails, just a little bit.
I think so, because I think, and that's a great way to introduce new NPCs or things like that. And so, but that's my personal preference. And the thing is, that does conflict sometimes with, because I'm okay with like, if I plan something and it doesn't happen, hey, that's what happens.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always go well with every party. I've had multiple experiences in the past where people either were upset or like, oh, that totally wasn't what I was planning, and they argue and they're like, I don't want that to happen, and I don't think it will happen, but it's just something to take into consideration.
For sure, absolutely. Random events, I'm glad you guys like them. So I can definitely do more of those in different situations. Sorry, go ahead. Ace.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry. Everything was kind of fuzzy there for a second, so every now and then it sounded like somebody wasn't talking. But
really, can you not
do it? I don't know. She might start a bar fight if somebody gets her angry enough. She's not against this. But no, a few more, yeah, like someone, because I've been surprised how, and this is not to say that I want the world to be cruel and unusual and evil. Obviously, there's going to be peaceful places, there's going to be nice people. But I have been thoroughly surprised at how nice the world is. And I know it is supposed to be a period of peace, but like even with like Lily or Nyota or Rodon, the more abstract members of the party have not exactly run into a whole lot of like, oh, that's a little bit weird, or Gomo's dressed really nice, I'm gonna pickpocket the like, you know, the pretty one, you know what I mean? Like it's been a pretty smooth ride, which is not bad, but it would be interesting to have a little more resistance from the world. That's kind of does like, now we gotta go do this thing.
Right.
I was expecting more
like, they stole our
discrimination on
thing.
my part. Nope, no lie.
That too. Because like basically there's
I'm not saying I want discrimination, but it has felt like a little bit too like, okay, everybody really likes us and that's cool, but like, you know.
I mean, pacing wise, we are kind of now getting to the point where we might,
Start
you
running
know,
into that
reach
stuff.
Rivendell. But like, but I think there needs to be adversities that we don't particularly volunteer in ourselves into. Like the whole,
Okay.
because I think quite a few of the combats it's either because we took on the quest and we did it, or we opted to help out this person and we follow. So we're basically taking on these quests, and it's part of the quest. A lot of the combats that we engage in, and other than actually, which is why I actually quite enjoyed the random the two wind elementals.
Yeah.
We fought because it was not expected. We were not anticipating combat, and it just kind of happened, which is I think why it felt way more like actual combat, and there was genuine threat, danger. We were like, I felt outmatched like by this thing. Like, oh wait, we really got to think smart. This is life or death. This is combat, not hey, here's some thugs. I'll just slap them here.
So,
you know.
I think I can condense a lot of these thoughts into it would be interesting to have more events, both combat and non-combat, to be reactionary to.
Right.
Yeah.
Because then, like, let's say somebody snags. I'm just gonna use Nyota because this is more in character for. Somebody snags Nyota's coin purse, right? Well, the rest of the team might want to run off, but if she doesn't, we can still say no to that encounter. You know what I mean? She could just be like, I'll get the coins later. Like, doesn't matter.
Like
to me.
what?
Or
Right.
if they want to run off,
Yeah,
you know.
talk
I gotcha.
about money and its value, and like Nyder's
and
like
so
they're
it
just
still gives us-
metal, they're earth, like or
It's
whatever.
like, it still gives us the chance to say no, and the guy could still escape if he rolls high enough. But it does give that like, oh shoot, we're off on another small thing, yeah.
Ah, shit! Here we
Huge
go
piece of
again.
But yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Neelan might run off already. Like before we can even have the discussion, Neelan already caught him. It's like criminal. I was like,
Yeah, and that's another thing is like when we did the Nyota bar thing, right? Where she went and Neelan went and Neelan chopped that dude's leg off and everything. I was that whole thing was pretty dark, and I don't know, I felt like maybe it was a little too dark. Like so I got the feeling that's what you guys thought. So I kind of tried to shy away from that too much, but maybe
I actually
maybe
didn't
not so
mind.
much.
I think there was a bit of a divide of jokes versus seriousness because I thought it was fun. It was like a character point, but we still need to dive into that. And the fact that she's dead gives much more struggle to what happened. The woman is now dead. How does she handle this? You know what I mean?
Gomo absolutely hates the idea that's what they did. I personally love it. Like I think that's one of the high points in the campaign so far. Like so.
Awesome.
I
Okay,
think there was
cool.
a little bit of miscommunication because at first it did feel like, oh, that was like too far, and there were comments of that, but I didn't think that was a problem.
Okay, well, I'm glad we revisited this then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
No,
if
I
it
was very
too
against
dark
it.
for somebody, yeah, please speak up, because, you know, if we need to, then, I don't want majority to outweigh the minority of, like, vote, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was very vocal about it because I mean, Gomo would be like, "You did what?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
you murdered someone? Like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, if your friend
And I
came, like,
Home and was like,
you
I
know,
killed
like
a
you were
guy.
sleeping and came in, you know, like, hey, like your roommate just comes in, and was like, by the way, I think I killed someone. It's like, what are your reactions? Like, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Which
To be
granted, it
fair,
was-
like, he tried to explain the situation as best he could. Because
he did.
Oh,
how
in all fair,
how
yeah.
do you react to that? It's like, no, this person kidnapped me and sold me. Well, time to murder a bitch.
Well, no, because if you think about it, he really did, like, at the beginning of it, and I think it gets glossed over a lot. He really did try to be peaceful. He just wanted her to admit that she did something shitty. There was no intention of fighting at first. Until it was clear that she kind of had some goons, and it didn't look like it was going to be as easy to get out of. You know what I mean?
No, as soon as she admitted, as soon as she,
Implied.
gave the,
That-
Well,
gave the
basically, she was
intent
like,
of,
and what if I did? What are you going to do about it? He was like, I'm going to show you. Like,
yeah, she started taunting. Like, if she
Yeah.
had, I regret what I did, it wasn't cool, and, had been a lot more, like, passive, definitely would have turned out different, I think. You know what I mean?
it was admitting to him that she did it and got
And
away
didn't
with
care.
it,
Yeah.
without saying, it's like that whole, like, tell me your ex without telling me,
Yeah.
those exact words.
yeah.
I
And-
also, and I might be wrong, but I also like to think that maybe it was also the way, because there's clearly no remorse on her end.
No, absolutely.
And yeah, Yodi, you're absolutely right. This should have been our first clue to Neilon's repressed anger. No, that's
It was.
exactly what it was. Yeah.
Okay,
and
cool. I
No,
got-
he was
And if-
upset that, like, no one really saw it. Like, no, I took care of a bad person. Like, why am I being chastised?
I mean, Naota, unless she did, I don't think Naota ever saw it as a bad thing. She was just like, all right, cool. Ding dong, the bitch is dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
Gosh.
Okay,
Like,
so
Naota was just like, I see nothing wrong with this.
random events that can be reactionary to, got it. Then, and that kind of goes in with the timers and everything too. That's kind of goes with it. And adversity was another one that I wrote down. I thought was good information. So
Oh,
Like,
Yodi, that
things
is a
need to
good
be
point,
hard,
too.
I think, because there's definitely companionship and bonds that form overcoming common adversity together. Like just being stranded, like like odd combos, just like being stranded in an island, having to work
Oh, yeah,
together
that'd be
to
fun.
survive. Like
Somebody-
just those kind of
People fall behind
situations yield for a lot of good, just player v player RP stuff that ends up getting them to bond over something.
The Bagman art is so good.
Oh my god, the fucking bag, man. By the way, like, so Ace asked earlier, like, she's totally cool with that being like an actual thing in the game or not. I was reacting. So when I was RPing Gomo, I was acting under the premise that Gomo would have reasonable suspicion to believe that story is actually based on truth, or at least some version of truth.
right.
And the thing, it wasn't something that I was able to prepare for, obviously. So I had to kind of be very choosy with my wording and how Gomo reacts and says things. But the whole Bagman concept, I mean, I didn't want to make Zaphian make that canon forcefully by Gomo admitting that, oh yeah, I know that to be like, I have a reason to believe that it's true, like blah 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 blah. Here's a reason why. Like, I didn't want to inject that. But regarding something similar, so like when there is an opportunity during RP and just kind of world building element, when we don't know, how do you want to resolve it? as the DM? Like if it hasn't been something that
Ooh.
was either established to the whole party that it is a thing or not.
No, I mean, so I know not everybody would know because it's whispers basically, but just DM me. Like a couple of you guys have done that already. Like if it's something you're curious about backstory wise or even lore wise or whatever, just DM me. Even if it's in the middle of a session, like the Bagman. You can be like, if something pops in your head, like, oh dude, that'd be so cool if like what if the Bagman was real, but instead of what she's saying, because it could be lore, it's it's really this. Shoot me a DM about it.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
Also brings up another question that I have, Zafian. With the Bagman thing, I didn't want to like overstep, and that's why I did try to keep it of like, ooh, spooky story. I didn't want to overstep and make you feel like, hi, I introduced this monster, now you have to have it. Like, is that okay for us to? We have a story about our character or about a thing they heard about. And as long as we keep it open-ended enough for you to then, if you choose to grip onto it, is that okay? Because I think I've noticed something else that tends to happen, which is a lot of times, and this is the other thing I wanted to ask, a lot of the times, like, we'll ask you to describe the scene, right? Mm-hmm. And that's fine and all, but I'm curious your take on, like, let's say we do go somewhere, and like, if we want to describe the scene a little bit, is that okay too? As long as it's
I mean, that's why I've been trying to let you guys do that more often. Like that's why we've made the joke about I can backseat games sometimes where I can just sit back and let you guys do it.
Right.
That's exactly the thing. Like, I can just like, hey, here's what you see. What do you do? And then you guys can do whatever you want. So if you want to. Yeah, just be okay if I have to, chime in every once in a while, be like, oh, hey, well, wait, like you do see, you see this, but like, yeah, the whole story with the Bagman, that was awesome. Like I was loving it. Like I was NPC Joe Bob in the back going, oh my god, that's sweet. Like, yeah.
Just like
So we
taking
have a
notes.
question in chat.
Because that does bring up, like, if we do want to, like, let's say, Rodon's sitting at the bar, and we're just sitting at the bar, we're all talking, like, let's say, just bear with me. 100% example here. If Rodon wants to see a cute girl, and he just looks over and it's like, oh, cute girl, that is something that we could throw in ourselves.
Yes. If you go, yeah, Rodon looks over and sees this cute girl and wants to go talk to her, I'd be like, okay.
I want to see Rodon talk to a cute girl.
Well, because I do realize that is stepping into the territory of us creating NPCs, and that can be kind of a little too off the cuff, and I don't want to stress.
Yeah, no, for sure. I can understand
blurring
that.
the line, yeah.
But I'm okay with that as long as because like I said, it's like we're creating the story, right? So so if I see like that's where we're going and it's like you guys are pulling more, I'm not going to say anything. I just have to realize, okay, next session I have to be more prepared. So then next time I might be like, okay, let me get a few names together and this is, and then I'll get some stuff ready and then the next time I'll be prepared for it. But so if I'm not prepared right away, just go with it. I'll be okay. But I'm not going to be like, man, this sucks. Why'd you guys do this?
It's like, well, now I got to ditch this whole idea I had.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not going to make some Arabian prince that's going to give us 10,000 gold because we gave him our last name.
Well, I would just tell you, I would just come up and say like, oh, sorry, that was all fake. It was a succubus that was tricking you into it. And
all the gold was illusion.
Yep. Now that you're in the bedroom.
Tomorrow morning, you wake up and in the bag are not gold coins, but just pebbles.
The gold was frogs all along. Ooh.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, just know that I'm gonna go along with it too, and I can go do things like that. So cool. I'm okay with it.
So improv rules basically. But we have a question from the chat from Kama Crazy. Why the Bagman? Like why Bagman? Why is
Ace?
Comma, can you elaborate on, like, is just why in general? Or...
Yeah, why?
It's the ultimate question. It's not...
I know this man well, so I can
It's not where is Bagman?
I can throw in
Bagman?
the cadence.
The cadence.
Yeah, so I have one. Why The Bagman.
Oh
Thank you.
gosh.
Yeah, Fish knows him pretty well. I had a feeling Fish would be able to help. God, now I want to.
Why not the Bagman?
Does he bother you? No.
I
That's actually a
explained
really
the
good
Bagman.
drawing of the Bagman.
Oh, you,
I explained the Bagman to him, and like his first
What about the
reaction
drawing?
was, "What
It's
the
good.
fuck?"
Oh, thank you. It's just
Oh
a
yeah,
doodle.
that's great.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't see that that question immediately, comma.
Nobody asks how is Bagman. Oh.
No, but to answer the question, why the Bagman? Honestly, it was happenstance a few days before that session. I was just scrolling through D&D stuff because my character doesn't have a whole lot. On purpose, I gave my character very little to work with in the start as far as items and knowledge about the world. So I was looking for items and weapons and other things that I might be able to talk to Zaphian about her finding that she might eventually be able to acquire as time goes on, because she lacks basic things like a sleeping bag at this point. So there's a lot of things that I still need to fetch quest for her. So I was looking through D&D stuff, and I stumbled upon the Bagman. It was like, come look at some of the new monsters. And I was like, okay, I love monsters, and I'm also like creating my own D&D campaign. Maybe I can like use some of this inspiration. So I got a little sidetracked, and I saw him, and I was like, man, I don't know too many, like, in the current thing I'm DMing, I don't know how I would like incorporate him. And then I thought about it, I was like, oh, maybe that could just be a fun, scary story that Neoda tells at some point, because for her, I imagine scary stories are more like what other people would consider scary stories, or more like bedtime stories, because in her world, she lives with shit like fucking slimes and
I mean, basically
people that eat
Australia.
brains. Yeah, but she basically lives in the fantasy equivalent of Australia, so for her, it's just like, oh, cool, Bagman, that's an
It's
interesting
like,
story.
oh,
Down-
a deadly
down
spider.
under,
That's
yeah.
quaint.
Yeah.
Right? So that it was like, oh, wait, my character's going to be telling like a scary story in the next session, maybe, or a story in the next session. Maybe she'll just stick to that one. And then only halfway through the session did I remember that Gomo fucking has a bag of holding. Like, I legit forgot till like halfway through the story. And then Gomo looks at his bag, and I went, oh my god. My teammate has a bag of holding.
Beautiful.
Well, let's roll with this.
So then also, you know, what I like to do with like homebrew stuff is like look at that kind of stuff and go, oh, how could I change that a little bit so it's not exactly the same, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing that I had to do to fit it into this world and her world. Because the original Bagman story is definitely different. But it really was just on a whim that I was like, oh, my character has to...
Yeah.
My
But
character
especially
wants
if it's
to tell a
like-
story.
But
Yeah.
especially if it's like you guys are like, hey, no, for real, I really want this in the game. Again, if you guys really want to see it, I'm not gonna say like, no, I may not do it next session, and I
Right.
might change it a little bit, but something similar would probably show up. I would just hate the fact that it's like you guys would be expecting it. But that doesn't mean I wouldn't do something similar. So, Bagman, I got it. You guys like Bagman.
I'm
Cool.
running out of
Notes
ideas.
taken.
You guys can say suggestions for me to draw something.
I have a suggestion.
Huh?
Only because Neilon has actually mentioned his siblings. What do you think his sibling would look like?
Who's?
Neilon's. He actually
My
canonically
sibling.
mentioned them.
What are their genders again?
I think he's
One
mentioned
one younger brother, only a few years younger than himself, and then one younger sister who is 12 years younger.
12 years younger? And Neilon's in his 30s?
Yes, he is 32.
Here's a
She's
horror
20.
story. Now go to bed.
She's 20. Okay.
Well, Well,
I didn't want to joke seriously, but now let me think.
Yodi makes that joke, here's a horror story, now go to bed, sweetie. But, like, yeah, it's just, to them, that's just a story.
Yeah,
You know,
horror stories are just stories. Their life is the horror story.
Yeah, kind of. But, like, she didn't realize how weird things were until she got up top.
I mean-
and she's like, oh, man.
Look, if the thing is, think about the lullabies and the lyrics. They're very bizarre.
No, yeah, like, if you think about our world, I mean, Ring Around the Rosie, we sing that to kids. Like,
Or we sing freaking lullabies and they're about the fucking cradle falling off the freaking
a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a
and
tree.
kid
Like what?
makes
Like
die.
how did it get
Yeah.
up there and why is it down will come baby?
And
Like
if
what?
you think about any fantasy story, Red Riding Hood is literally a story about the dangers of molesting and whatnot.
Stranger
and
danger.
creepy guys. Hansel and Gretel is literally cannibalism. Jack and Jill, some guy cracks his head open. Like,
Oh my god.
so
Oh,
it's-
what's
it's,
it? What's the one where fuck, it's a rainy day one where it's like
It's raining, it's pouring,
the old man is snoring. He went to bed and bumped his head and couldn't get up in the morning. That's about a concussion.
Yep.
I mean, I think the only, like, possibly not weird one, unless you have arachnophobia, is the itsy bitsy spider. That's just about a spider that keeps failing and drowning. You know what I mean?
Sounds like
But,
an
like,
origin
there's a
story.
lot of- The itsy bitsy road climbed up the hill. Met a bunch of dorks and now he's stuck here.
So when are we gonna get a one shot that I can play in?
That's funny you say that because I have a few, but I'm not done with them.
Oh come on!
Actually,
You don't need to
any-
be done with them. Just get the basic outlines and ad lib the rest.
I mean, I could actually. Fish, do you think they would like the tower one? With a little robot friend?
That one would be interesting. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's a one shot. That might be a 3-shot, but like the little rope. I've been itching to play her, so, or him.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to work on. I have a couple of ideas for one shots as well, but I need to flesh them out a little bit.
Yeah. So
Speaking
we've
of
got a
working
thing.
on some things as well, someone over there has been working on something for our campaign for me. I'm still waiting for some updates on that.
Hmm?
I think he's talking to you.
Fish.
Huh?
Oh, Fish.
Yeah.
What?
Woo!
It's
This is new.
This is news.
it's being worked on. Because of work picking back up and
Yeah.
you know being I haven't gotten the chance to work on much more, but yes, it is currently being worked on.
Oh.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to seeing that whenever it comes out. No pressure.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it.
No pressure though, because I know how your work can get. But I think that's the other thing is like, I know I have some ideas. Actually, I have a one shot that we could 100% do, but tears and or anger will ensue. That is literally the end of. That is the point of the campaign.
Oh,
It is a feels campaign, so everybody needs to be like okay with that.
Oh.
it's a feels campaign where everybody dies at the end.
No, but it might make you want to fight a god. You might be that angry, so you
Ooh.
know, in a good or bad
Everyone,
way. But it's
ready your
definitely like a
pitchforks.
feels campaign. Huh?
I'm okay with that. I can. I'll make sure my character even has a pitchfork. That's their weapon. Pitchfork.
No, but I think that brings up a good question that we can talk about here, which is if we do one shots, because I would love Zafine to play. I'd love to DM at some point to practice and stuff. Would we do that like on days like this instead of main campaign, or would we find a different day, or like how would that work? it'd be like, hey, we're taking a break from the main campaign. We're gonna do this.
Excellent
today,
question to
or-
which I do not know if we are even equipped to answer because
Yeah,
we
I mean,
literally
that's
have
the thing in
this
mind.
time slot.
Yeah.
This is
collected.
the only one that we have, so it's kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would our watchers and other people even be okay with that? Because if they're tuning in for the main campaign and then we suddenly go, ta-da, one shot with either a bunch
Yeah.
of fields or nonsense.
Pops in my head is we had once talked about like if we ever find another time where a bunch of us can get together is do a recording.
Mm-hmm.
And then if there's ever a time like this where we can just play the recording of
Right.
said session. So
Oh, yeah.
that could be something. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think we did talk about that. Because I'm okay with pre-recording things, and then if certain people can't get on, it is just pop that up. But that's the other problem, is finding a time to pre-record that stuff.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, with certain holidays and stuff, I know that if we like cut one session and then start another one, that's a lot of work. But like, we might be able to do that. So like, do the main session and then keep it at 4 hours and then jump into the other campaign. But that might be too much.
Well, if we keep the time slot, it would be. But anyway, so it's just it's definitely something we need to think about because I would definitely be down for playing as a character, but also it would be cool to see how, because I play D&D with you guys, to see how you guys would DM.
Yeah, and I think it would be nice to see Zaphian being able to play and being able to not forever DM. The curse, forever the DM, never the player.
All right.
But it's because I've tried to like watch other people DM on Twitch, and not everybody has the same style of game. So
Yeah,
a lot of times if I'm watching it,
they're
I'm like, man,
all-
a lot of them I can't even get into.
Yeah, they're not as good as Zaphian.
Oh.
That's not what I was getting at, but thank you.
All right, there's your sister.
So precious.
Love the bun. Also, just a little bit of a like rewind, just because like I don't want this to go under the radar, because it was a really good comment that Yodi made, and so I do realize I'm backtracking a bit. But it's the comment of, and let's not forget that the first target that the crossbow was aimed at was Naota. I was sort of like, excuse me, you have cemented yourself as a bitch, and you went for the one person you're saying you did nothing to.
Okay, you say that, but at the same time, she's in there minding her own business. You guys come into her shop, accusing her of things, and you're the one. Of course, who do you think she's gonna aim at?
Oh no, but I really like that comment from Yodi, because it's like, at least that's Rodon's justification for just being like, all right, you're not exactly a great person.
Yeah.
I thought that was really well worded, and because I didn't even think about that, so I was like, oh man, I don't want that to disappear, because I know like the comments will like disappear at a point. Oh, and it's like, oh man, I want to revisit that, because that was a good little.
You have cemented yourself as bitch.
Hey. Ooh, and then Neilon, you've shown your intention. Let me show you the result. Ooh, I'm imagining that in his scary voice, and I don't like it, and I love it at the same time. Yeah. So, if anyone else in chat still has questions, even with all the bouncies that we're doing,
Or if you'd like to see anything drawn or anything like that.
or...
But I'm out of questions, basically. So
Have our bard do a bard number.
Because I know I have a few more for Zaphian, but I want to let like other people, ask in chat and stuff if they want. Or even if we do one shots, would people in the chat, would they be up for that? And what kind of stuff would they want to see? If we
Actually,
do
yeah,
DV
about one shot. I want to know if like what kind of campaign or alternative settings or characters or what have you, like what do you guys want to play?
Actually, yeah, that's I know despite what I said for the despite what I said for this one, if I would like things to be a little more serious, obviously not go super dark, because I know with like Rodan, it's like he's a dragonborn and he's kind of the only dragonborn walking around, and nobody bats an eye. And then you have Lily who has her stuff, and it's like, oh wow, nobody's really noticing some people. That's not that I want people to chase us with pitchforks every single day, but it's like a little bit realer, a little bit more, at least in some towns, like, oh, okay, clearly some people are friendly, some people aren't. I still love funny games. I know I would personally love to play Crash Pandas.
Yeah, Crash
Bunch of
Pandas.
raccoons driving cars. So, like, that would be fun, personally.
Honey Heist.
Yeah, basically. I'll be a possum.
Well, the first one that I would like to do is obviously Dresden Files, just because that was, I mean, I first played D&D, but the first one that really got me into RPing was Dresden Files, the role-playing game, because I really like the world for it, which I know you guys don't really know much of, because I think Fish does, but other than that, I don't think any of you guys do, but really like that one. And then alternative setting, like Cyberpunk would be cool.
Ooh, yeah. Or, funny things, like if our campaign is getting dark, or, funny things would be fine, even cute things, you know what I mean?
Alright, there's your brother.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that does bring up a thing. Holiday stuff. Outside of campaign, like Christmas or Halloween characters would be fun, yeah?
Yodi has a question.
Yeah, I know. We'll get to it. I wanted to finish what we're doing right now and then get to it. But
Yeah,
I was-
too.
wanted everybody to get a chance to answer
Yeah.
Gummy's question about alternative settings and what they think about that kind of stuff.
I'm basically just trying to get a feel for like what could be a good one shot or a short campaign that could kind of tailor to a lot of or incorporate.
I think personally, for me, I think the best bet would be if we're doing a whole lot of sillies in the main campaign, then like a more serious one shot would be good, because it kind of breaks that up. If we're doing something heavy in the main campaign, then congratulations, you're all nice.
Something tone changing.
Yeah, that would be fine for me. If it changes the tone, so we could have like
Something
a moment of like,
not totally serious, like
yeah.
a straight up
unless it's
JoJo
too-
tone or like.
So it's basically whatever's going in the main campaign. Bounce opposite of that wouldn't be a bad way to start off safely, if that makes sense, with one shots. So right now, since we're all having fun, if you wanted to do a serious horror puzzle campaign, it's like, ooh, that would be fitting. Yeah.
Down for horror.
I'm always down for horror. That's the one thing that I am always down for. It doesn't matter what mood I'm in. If you want to give me a horror murder mystery, do it. A Sherlock Holmes this. Ooh, Eldritch horror especially. I shall worship Cthulhu.
You have anything, Angel?
I said that right.
I guess a murder mystery would be kind of cool.
I heard they're coming out with a Marvel one, which I
Like a
personally
Marvel
would be kind of cool with.
A Marvel
Yeah,
RPG.
so it's a tabletop role playing game. The trial book is supposed to come out either late this year or next year, and then the actual full thing is supposed to come out the year after. So it's like really far away, but the idea of like you can either create your own hero and then there's like a whole cool campaign with heroes, basically like the Marvel hero game that came out where like you play with the other heroes, that type of thing. But I don't know, I've always liked the Marvel superheroes, so I thought that might be kind of.
That'd be interesting.
And there's always the Star Wars one. I mean, I'm all. If you guys said Star Wars, I'd just be like, okay, I'm in. Like,
I'm a little more. I don't know much about Star Wars, so that's a new territory. I'll do it. That's new territory.
I think that's when it would be harder for the DM, but not impossible, because the DM would have to sell you the world.
Yeah.
But for say Gummy did, hey, we're doing Star Wars campaign, I would already be sold because I know the world, right?
Right.
But whereas he would have to sell it to you. So it'd be a little
as
harder.
I'm setting the
Also the
tone and the
explanation
settings and
of-
explaining the scene and everything,
Yeah.
it has to
There's also
come
rock make,
through.
as far as I know, special Christian make lightsaber go bzz.
I don't know if there would be
lightsabers
lightsabers in a Star
Yeah,
Wars
no.
campaign.
For most part, it would be blaster go pew pew.
Yep.
Pew pew. And then
A lot of hacking and
bad guys
droids and-
constantly hire other bad guys with terrible aim.
It's like, I'm an
Obviously,
ex-stormtrooper.
I'm running off
Give me
I'm
that
running
blaster.
off of pure memes, I'll be real. No, because I know a little bit because, like, I like listening to Fish talk about it because he's really into it. But it also depends on if we're talking, like, which particular one we're talking about, because
It would honestly, if to play roleplay, it would literally just be sci-fi setting, and if you do it in the Star Wars universe, it really just gives you a lot of world lore already done, basically. Other than
So
that,
I
it's
have-
basically
I
just sci-fi setting.
The
I have a
expands.
question with that.
Yeah.
Little bit sidetracking. Why can't someone else just shut off someone else's lightsaber with the Force? Why is that not like a thing? I'm just saying, that would be so easy.
So one little piece of Legends lore that I understand is the intricacies of a lightsaber. So yes, it essentially is just a weapon after it's built, but the intricacies of how it's built is known only to the Jedi that built it. So there could be fail-safes or switches or something of that sort that only the Jedi who built it would know how to activate. Or, in this case, a not be like it would have a kill switch for the kill switch, essentially.
So then, why was Rey able to go bzz, the thing that wasn't
or
hers?
not even extending into the extended canon, the saga, the new saga, like even Empire Strikes Back. Well, how was Han able to light up the lightsaber for Luke's to open up the tauntaun? So it's like, I love that example, or I love that explanation, but there's
they
a
kept
canon
it,
conflict,
honestly.
and I want them to resolve it before my mind.
Well,
can
and
accept
that's
it.
why I'm saying, like, at its base form, it does just become a weapon, so anyone can activate it. But when it comes to forcing the deactivation, for example, you can have fail safes in there that only the Jedi who built it would know.
Okay, so it's
That's kind of my theory.
Or if it's
Okay,
literally
so
like
it's
a switch on the lightsaber hilt, like if the other Jedi was gonna be like, I force the switch down, can't the guy just like, I have a thumb on it, not happening? Like,
Yeah, but,
Like,
then,
that's
but
kinda
then you
why
have
it's
a
gonna be
struggle. But then you have a struggle of what is stronger, the physical or the Force. That would be a fun thing to watch,
You could also do something like a dummy switch, for example.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or a momentary switch. So
Right.
it's like there's a few different things that you can kind of do with it that would make it a unique saber that not anyone would be able to mess with. But that's just because I've thought way too much about this.
No, and I
all
love
right,
it.
so
Yeah, but that was a little bit sidetracked. No, but I love it because the fact that I'm not super into the fandom and I'm just like Force off, and that would be literally my first instinct is to just try to turn off somebody else's stuff,
And here's a note from
Get in a fight, and just force everything off.
so
But back to D&D.
I was about to say, if you want to answer Yoda's question, is it weird playing as a bard who does not do things the stereotypical bard does, like not really playing music or being a playa?
It actually isn't because, well, one, I haven't had too much experience playing as such, like that stereotypical bard. Two, I don't have a lot of experience playing as that type of character, period. And Gomo, when we were first when I was first creating him, he was supposed to be it was for the one shot in a prison escape setting, and I was thinking of him as the kind of the you know how like in prison there's always that one guy that can get you whatever you need and kind of can talk his way through stuff. He's not exactly the the big brawny guy, but he somehow manages to keep himself positioned such that everyone, all the different factions and whatever, it would be in their interest to keep him alive, or that kind of the brains person. And so a bit roguish in a way, but not very thief-like.
Lovable, but not.
But just kind of like the cunning type. But so he would have magic, but it would be very kind of. So that was the character concept I was going with before I even chose the class, and then Bard made sense. More so than say Arcane Trickster or a wizard or even a sorcerer. So that's how Gomo ended up being a bard. And so after that, and when the campaign started kind of unfolding, and I had to come up with backstories, it actually helped flesh out that character. Like, why would he be a bard? And that tying into like his charisma and his backstory, his childhood, and his training, it all just kind of came together. So that stereotype was never there to begin with, which makes it easy to not be tempted to play into it.
So, and this is
Based-
Yodi. So now, based on the answer, do you still fight like a rogue type, or does Gomo role in the party change your fighting style?
So, well, here's the thing. He never was meant to fight. Like, he was, like, we don't, like,
He's full support
in a
class.
day-to-day life, I mean, he comes from a non-adventuring kind of background. Well, that's a little bit of a giveaway, but, like, not too much. So, when most of your life you weren't, faced with danger, you didn't have to fight people, kill things, whatever. You don't have a lot of fighting anything. And that's why he didn't have any such relevant spells. For instance, when I was building Gomo, I had the option to choose between Fire Bolt cantrip versus Produce Fire cantrip. Fire Bolt will do 1d, I think it's 1d8 or d10. I think it's 1d10 fire damage. But Produce Fire does only 1d8. And I believe it has shorter range too. But I chose Produce Fire because it made sense for the character. And it also has a little bit more versatility in the sense that he can just produce a flame and just hover it and use it as a light source, or use it to light things on fire, like campfire, for more mundane things. And that was more fitting. But now, as the campaign, now he's kind of thrown into that adventure life, where he has to face confrontation, which is why before, like anytime there was whatever, like the first real encounter after the campaign started, like not the first one, but like when we were fighting the spiders, for instance, like he put them to sleep. Like, sleep is the first thing he does, right? He just puts them to sleep, and then he runs away or hides or that's all he needs to do. Like, if there's any sticky situation, he just needs to get himself out of there. That's his first instinct, not to fight his way through.
I mean,
But-
that makes sense, especially with the bugs, because he was like,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, okay, let's get the fuck out of here. But now that he is kind of becoming more and more accustomed to and being in a group, and he has to kind of stay, he can't just run. He could, but it'd be, very
We're gonna give him shit for it later.
yeah. So since he has to kind of stick around and fight, he is considering giving himself abilities to fight more effectively, which is why he was experimenting with the fireball scroll that he borrowed from Lily, trying to figure out how that works, try to figure out how to produce a more powerful flame spells, teach himself. And ended up, in the heat of the moment, last battle, he was able to successfully cast Scorching Ray. Wasn't because he was trying to cast Scorching Ray, just all of the learning he's done through the scrolls, studying the scrolls for the fireball spell, and him just experimenting with produce flame and how arcana and fire interact, and all of that just kind of came together in his catatonic state at 1 HP. Instinct took over and just like started casting fire magic that was powerful, and that was Scorching Ray. So I don't think it was very well illustrated during the fight, but that's what happened there. So he is developing fighting techniques, and he'll probably need to start learning how to do more hand-to-hand or melee range combat, which I have plans for. But he's learning to fight. So and remember, it's easy to, and that's something I try to keep in mind when I'm creating a new character, because it's easy to create a character who has some kind of extensive background, and in fact, there's actually a really funny skit on it on YouTube. But like, you have this like really cool character backstory, like, oh, he used to be an arch wizard, blah blah blah, like, you know, knew a lot of spells and all that, and then like you're starting an adventure and like you're level 1. You literally know like 4 spells. Like, what is this? It doesn't match, right? So trying to take into consideration the level of the character and how they can progress afterwards. I put Gomo at level 5, starting where he is, to have had some experience learning magic and stuff, none of which are related to combat. But he starts having to apply them. And then now he's leveling up more and more. I think we've leveled up twice now. Like, he's kind of started to think about how to then expand that to be more applicable in these kind of scenarios. But he's still kind of also thinking, and it'd be really fun when I get the chance. Excuse me, when I get the chance to show off what spell he picked for level 8. Which again, I'm intentionally foregoing some of the more powerful spells to pick ones that are thematically in line with what he has been doing, what he knows how to do, what will be the natural next step, and also ones that would be useful in combat, but also just helpful and be able to use creatively. Because I think that's what I want Gomo to be, like, kind of like with how like produce water into the giant bug's mouth, or like clever ways to so like clever ways to use spells in and out of combat to get different varying results and varying to tip the scales in your favor. And I'm hoping the new spell I picked up is actually very, very fun to use in that regard.
That does bring a question for me for Gomo, which is, he, out of everybody, now the other 2 magic users, they use magic, but, and if this is like a backstory thing that is gonna get, you know, brought up later, then like, fair enough, but he really does, and anybody else correct me if I'm wrong, Gomo uses magic the most, and as a character and a player, I've taken interest in that because there's some future things that's going to be of interest to Naota. Is that very heavily like a backstory thing of why he's constantly like, I'll just use cantrips willy-nilly. Like, yeah, they are cantrips, they don't use spell slots, but it, like, pretty sure, like, Nilon has, like, cantrips, but it's just, Gomo is so heavy on magic. Not just, I mean, a bard is, like, a magic class, but they're so heavy on magic, it's kind of...
Well, I mean, bard is a caster class. Bard is... Oh, yeah. It feels a supporting role, but it is a, like, in line with, you know, sorcerers, wizards, you know, just straight-up casters are flimsy.
Class. But it is, there's, like, just in everyday stuff, like, I find it interesting that, like, because if you look at other casters, yeah, they use it a lot, but, like, it's not, you implement it in, like, every, so, like, he'll wake up and press to digitate his coffee. Like, it's so normal for him to be a magic user. So it's kind of interesting. Of like, I'm curious if that's. Just
I mean,
for
like
now,
think of like Harry
or-
Potter. Like
Yeah, so it hasn't come up like maybe it hasn't been as in your face because when you guys are seeing NPCs, you don't see them for longer periods.
Mm.
But almost
Well,
every like tavern keeper and person that you've come across, they've used it too. Like
I also mean that of like watching other D&D, because this isn't just like
oh, compared to
some
other D&D
parties
campaigns?
will. Yeah, compared to some other players. Yeah, it's very
Oh,
heavy on
I think
I think
magic. If that makes sense.
I think they don't use it enough.
yeah,
That's my
think
opinion.
I think me and Gummy see that the same way as like if you think about it, if you lived in a world where you could use magic, why wouldn't you use it all the time?
Yeah, mage hand. You have a
Yeah,
third hand,
constantly. Yeah.
literally. Like
Oh, yeah,
Now-
and that totally makes sense, but it is sort of like, I guess then that's a question for Zapian. Is that the world we live in? Is it just everyone, if you can do it, you'll do it? Just poof.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm just not as good as him as because I think it just generally boils down to I have a lot going on in my head, and so like I
Yeah.
don't think to use it as much. Whereas he's just thinking of his character, and it's like
yeah,
hey,
I'm
he
always
can pop
thinking
it
of
out.
clever ways to use prestidigitation, minor illusion.
But when
like,
I do think about it, I do try to like, oh, okay, this person, even if they're minor magic, because not everybody is heavy magic users. But like even like tavern prestidigitation is like known by a lot of people. You just a lot of people can just simple thing to do. A lot of people can use it. So
The reason I ask is because now that definitely gives me a much different feel for how Naota's going to approach something that I want her to approach.
yeah.
About and how she's interacted with him so far. Which is, and this is just like it's not a spoiler. She said it before. That's for her. That's extremely new. That's very much like you just like blowing it off all over the place. Like
Yeah, it's also the thing of where I don't know a lot of the spells in D&D, so to say this person's casting this, like I don't know what this is. I don't know all of the cantrips and everything, but it is something that I was trying to get across. Is a lot of people do use cantrips and stuff willy-nilly.
yeah. I mean,
No,
cantrips
and
was
that's
a big
absolutely
addition.
fair. Yeah, that's absolutely fair. But now that does give me
Oh, another
okay,
thing.
maybe I shouldn't give Domo as much shit for it. Like
No,
maybe
no, no,
Naota
no.
would give
Another
Domo
thing though,
shit
I can
because she's
totally
the
see where you're coming from. Because now 3.5 doesn't have cantrips, right? Everything is a level spell, and you start with level 1 spells. And spellcasters are almost always restricted, and they need to reserve that spell for when they need it. So if something can be done without using a spell, it's not a bad idea to opt for that. I mean, there's even a meme because like multi-classing because you'll
the
sometime
interesting-
like you eventually run out of spells. Like,
Because that's the interesting way of like how I built Naota's community for like a lot of reasons, and she kind of touched on it a little bit. Was it's not as willy-nilly thrown around. So like she gets up here and everybody's just, yeah, I'm gonna flip the page of the book with magic, and it's like, oh, fucking wasting all your what are you doing? Yeah.
right. So it might just be a different
all your damn resources.
because that's the concept of cantrip that was introduced with 5e, and it gives the spellcasters finally the ability to now just start casting magic on day-to-day stuff and feel like a spellcaster in RP and other things too. And that was unfortunately not there for 3.5, but now it is. And if you compare it to like say, which is why like 3.5, I guess you could argue that is a little closer to like Lord of the Rings and that kind of fantasy setting, because even in Lord of the Rings you don't see spells cast all the time. There are big things like you cast when you need it.
It's like a precious commodity.
Right, it is a precious commodity, and in 3.5 it actually was a precious commodity for spellcasters, albeit very powerful. Now in 5e they balanced it quite a bit, and then they actually give you options to use cantrips, which most of it either doesn't do damage or doesn't do nearly as much damage as an actual level spell counterpart, and usually has a lot of saves that they can do against it. Like magic missile, for instance, you cast it, it hits. Like, but similar equivalent flavored cantrip might not. There might be saves they can throw, or it just doesn't do as much damage. So, and also, so it also then gives the spellcasters the ability to do all their higher level spells, and if they run out, they still have cantrips they can fall back on, which is equivalent to, you know, just, well, any of the fighter classes having the ability to just attack things with their weapons, even if they say run out of ammo or whatever. So
Yeah.
so I'm, you know, this is my first time like really playing a spellcaster, like full spellcaster in 5e. So I'm really kind of trying to leverage and also using it as an opportunity to teach myself all the spells and the nuances and how to, if there are any interesting combos or you know, overlooked spells that might be interesting in an RP setting or whatever. So yeah, that's why Gomo is very, very not shy
Magic
about casting magic. And also, to answer your question, just kind of to touch briefly, it actually does tie quite heavily into his backstory, why he would be very fond of casting magic, why he would always be thinking about how to use it.
I love that.
It's kind of hard to explain without going too far into the details.
I mean,
But
I imagine part of it, like, and this is just to correct me if I'm wrong. Part of it is the, you know, born with some defects, obviously.
yeah, the obvious and
and
apparent one is
gotta help
he's
you
weak
up
and
with that,
feeble.
right?
Like if you have an ability to kind of, you know, fill in that
An
void,
unseen
why
servant
not?
To literally do something for you.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
Oh,
So,
cool.
and another thing is like a lot of times when you're playing, say 3.5, especially if your campaign is encounter heavy, you end up kind of developing a habit of not, you know, using spells as willy nilly because you never know how many of it you will need. So it's always you kind of lean towards, you know, ending the in-game day with spells left over than
Right.
running out and dying. So, but more often than not, statistically, you don't. Like you don't actually run out of spells very often, and also you should consider building your character so that it can operate even when it doesn't. Which is why for me, Bard is a great one because then he still has like Bardic inspirations or other things. Hi Gargamond. Yeah, so yeah, we're doing like Q&As and art and I said music, but so far we haven't really done anything on that.
Yeah, we've been doing
So if your
quite a bit.
if your Q&A, your question was, "What's this crap?" That's the answer.
Yeah.
We're
There's the question and there's the answer.
we're talking about the campaign, the settings, the players, you know, how we play things, all sorts of different questions. So if you have questions,
we're also kind of exposing how we think about role-playing our characters, building characters, choosing spells, anything mechanical as well as just RP or flavor or nuances about Dungeons and Dragons.
Because I really like the thought that, like, not just, oh, if it's a magical world, there's going to be magic all over the place, but I really like the thought process behind Gomo of not just on top of, obviously, magic is common for magic users, so use it, but on top of, like, I can't do this thing, but Mage Hand can, so I'm going to have that. Literally use that at my, like, every single moment of my life.
And he's very keen on, and there's a reason why he's always thinking about trying to be creative with how he uses his spells, because, well, I don't think this really spoils much in terms of backstory, but he does really think people don't use spells to their fullest potential. And he has a reason why he feels that, like, this is so precious and you should explore all these ways of doing it, which hopefully will come up in the story soon enough.
Oh, I hope so too, because I know, and this is a bit, this is not, like, supposed to, this is not supposed to be very metagaming, because this has been on my mind for the past, like, few sessions, but once she gets the chance, I know there's going to be a conversation between Naota.
You know what's an easy way to get some backstory out of him? Get him drunk. Buy him some drinks. buy him some drinks, and start asking a couple of
Yeah.
questions, and then
Oh, no,
the
it's not-
story
it's
just
not the forced
unfolds.
backstory. No, yeah. I mean, she already did that kind of. They got drunk together.
Yeah,
but-
I mean, it's like that time when Gomo got
actually
shit faced
really-
drunk, like he actually did say a lot of stuff.
did. It was
Not
very
all of
cool.
it might have made a lot of sense or seemed relevant, but there were quite a bit that was exposed that time.
Oh no, but I thought that was a very wholesome interaction between the two.
Yes.
But for Naota, there's definitely going to be a talk of his magic use because man, it wasn't even intentional, but the differences between them of the one that uses magic all the time for personal and just because he can versus the one that's, I hate using the word, but almost conditioned to you savor that because that is your last saving grace. You know what I mean? That is your last, like, if you need this and you have nothing else, then that is what you use. Like, I actually like that difference in character.
Right. I mean, it's
And I
reflected
hope that
because
conversation between the two comes up.
it reflects because I mean, even on the character sheet, like mechanically, Nyota's spells are all scarce commodities to her. She has limited number of castings for all of them, except for like one of them, I think.
And not just that, but like I'm not sure if it's been noticeable, and I don't mind giving it away. Up until now, all of hers have to be vocal. There's no components to them. I mean,
Huh.
like, and that was chosen particularly because of generally like where she comes from, what she does. You're not just gonna be able to find, like, I remember you and I had this conversation of like, oh, if you live in an island, are you really gonna find like a deer horn or something? I mean, there is that, like, you don't have certain things, so you're not gonna know that spell. You're not gonna know how to cast this thing. You know what I mean? So a lot of her spells up until now are very much like, all right, the only components I need are vocal, sound, or like hand motions. Oh. That's the other thing she's limited with using. Plus, like you said, there's only so many spell slots she has and only so many spells she can have. So it is interesting the different people, different places they come from. And then looking at like Rodon stuff where, you know, with the non-spellcasters, the people that just don't have any magic at all, how they're going to handle and interact with like Gomo eventually, or the world that just throws around spells because they can, you know. So it is interesting that out of a one-shot, all of these characters were created.
I
and have turned
know.
out so differently.
Yep. I will say I was actually a little worried about that because I know that these characters were designed for a one shot. They weren't really thought out of like, okay, this is going to be in a campaign. I'm going to be playing this character for a long period of time. So I was worried about that, where we might have to like potentially like, hey, we got to kill this character off because I really want to play
Not
something
working.
different.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was definitely feeling some of that, like, oh crap, like he's really not equipped to fight at all. like okay, it's my turn. What the hell do I even do?
I have a massive centipede in front of me and I don't have anything.
Yeah. But then again, that yields for some very creative roleplay. So like,
Oh yeah.
double-edged sword. It's all up to how you approach it, and that's the beauty of D&D, right? It's
I'm
open-ended.
looking forward to more character interactions and how they
I
start
want there to
opening
be
up
more revealed about our characters, and I think that's part of the reason why I personally, as a player, feels like I wanted to get moving. And even when when we were trying to decide if we wanted to stay a day in the town or not, or just move on, like Gomo kind of arguing to kind of press on, what's partially reflecting me as a player too. Like, yeah, that sounds fun, but it sounds like a side quest. I kind of want to get to Arden Run quick so that we can learn more about Neelon's backstory, and I want to see more about him. and we learn more about his character, which will allow us to role play more and then
Which I think-
new characters,
I think-
NPCs.
Which I think, funny enough, staying at the festival kind of did that, but not in the way that we thought.
No,
Yeah.
no, we ended up talking to a bush.
Oh yeah, talking to a bush. Honestly, that whole session of that tower, that was the entire session of this played out, but not how anybody thought it would. We learned about Neelon, his anger issues and willingness to punch Thale. And apparently he's very against people running off and not being there for other people. Yeah.
And we're still not done with this town.
Yeah.
There's still
mean-
some business.
Yeah. And I think
That's
I
some
actually
business?
think it was
The historian? I thought we were gonna visit the historian. Maybe
Oh,
not.
I forgot about that.
I mean, if it comes up, it comes up. I do think, notes to most people, I will give this away. There was some lore about the town that applies to Nyota. You guys did learn something.
Oh shoot, I forget everything.
What? Don't eat the walls?
Oh. No, something that happened to the town that also applies to her.
Something
No.
happened to the town?
But I'll leave it
Oh,
at that.
way back
Anyway.
the story that the
Possibly.
gnome told.
Oh,
About the wizard.
The gnome story.
Because I don't know if people caught on to that, but she's pretty interested in that wizard statue.
Mm-hmm.
William the Wise Wizard
I heavy-handed
and the
that just a
Wild
little bit.
Knights,
That was
where the
probably
giants ate
because I
gnomes. The two-headed, fire and ice breathing giant.
Which was so cool, Zaphian. Like, two-headed? Yeesh.
Two-headed. Yep. Fire and ice breathing. Correct. Gilmo remembered or has notes.
Yes, I has notes.
Might have been a
He's
little
like,
heavy-handed,
he was
but-
thinking, oh crap, we gotta fight this thing.
Yeah, like, okay, I'm gonna look this up.
He's like, oh no, what did she do? What did Dana do? I might have been a little heavy-handed on that, but like, I forgot which one of my lemonades had alcohol in it, and I think I picked the one that did, so woo.
You think? Oh my god. Clearly for nothing. Like when I put alcohol in, you could tell.
Well,
It's like-
okay. It was one of those like I didn't taste it. I saw the two bottles and I'm like, well, we'll find out now.
Hi, Bun Bun.
My question is, why aren't both of them?
Yeah, why don't both of them
Spiked.
have alcohol?
Because I didn't get to the other one yet. I'm going to later tonight.
Sounds like you got stuff to fix.
Oh, absolutely. But
Anyways, do we have more questions from? I feel like I skipped something, but I can't remember.
I have a question for Fish. He's been quiet over there.
What's up?
So we're gonna go to your home, which will be interesting. You'll see your family, hopefully, and stuff. I don't know what that dream was, but are you worried about that happening? Or are you, like, without giving it away, like, how...
Oh yeah, question real fast. Sorry, how many of you guys actually know what the dream was?
I don't.
I will admit that when I went back to listen, I caught parts of it, and then I realized it was the dream, so I fast forward because I take notes after the fact. So I don't know everything.
I only know what I read in the cards that one time, and who knows how accurate that was.
It was very accurate.
Then I know a lot.
Yeah, so like
Great,
I caught bits and pieces until I realized, oh shit, this is the point where I'm supposed to leave. So then I fast forward, but I don't know the whole thing.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just was really curious because
Oh no,
you had said that, and it made me think like, oh, you know. I was wondering how many other people knew. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I know little bits, and that's not all of it, but like it was like the first 2 sentences, and then I went, wait a minute, I don't remember listening to this. Oh yeah, because I'm not supposed to fast forwards. This is not for my notes. So it is. I am curious how worried you as a player is about whatever else happened, or about the dream itself. And then I have a question for Zafian afterward that applies to the dream.
So my answer is yes, and also yes.
Scared and scared.
All that comment, yeah.
And I do have a question, since I don't know the whole dream, and the dream already happened. Was this a preemptive of like Nealon gets dreams? Is that like in his character, or was this a Zafian decided, guess what, you get a terrible nightmare, congratulations?
Well, to be honest with you, I was kind of already feeling what you guys addressed earlier about, like, you know, there needs to be more to the story. There, you know, things that were a little more stressful, things that weren't just so cut and dry of like, here's the story, we're following it. So, you know, and in that thought, like I was thinking about that for a while, and usually what I do is like I'll have that thought, I'll be like, okay, so, you know, I'll just think on it a little bit. And then it just popped in my head. It's like, oh, I should just, you know, single things out and go with it. And it's not that I necessarily tried to single out Nealon. It just happened to
work.
It just happened to work. It really did. Like, as I was thinking of like, okay, what about Nealon? What about Nyota? What about Gomo? And like, there are things that I could touch upon with all of them.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not gonna lie. I feel like knowing people's backstories, I know where Gomo's is, and I think that could be okay. You have so much of Nyota's stuff fleshed out. I'm like, it's not that I'm scared to touch it. It's just there's already so much there. I don't feel like I'm just gonna let that go because there's so much to play out there. But there were certain key points in Nealon's backstory that I thought could be played off of really well.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess in a way I did nitpick on him.
No, and that's not a bad thing, because like you said, there's some stories where it's like with Gomo, maybe it just won't come up yet, or Nyota, it's like kind of already written, and hopefully you can find more things to pick on her and play with.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
I asked him, you know, if it was okay. You know, I was like, are you cool with what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And you know, as long as he was cool with it. Cool. I didn't tell him everything. Just the general ideas, like clip notes.
No, I had a feeling you asked, but it was kind of interesting. Of like, also because at the time Nealon as a character's been really quiet, so it was kind of like, oh, is this like a DM being like, come on, play with the others, like. Go on, have a dream. Make it worried. Play with the others. Like that kid that like.
Well, to be honest, since that's happened, I do feel that Fish as a character, as a player, has had more things to latch onto.
Mm-hmm. Which I'm not saying it was like a mother like.
Yeah.
Try to force, like, obviously you weren't forcing him, but it did seem like an interesting, something opened up between after the.
That's how I feel too. Yeah, it's one of those like you know, things that happen unintentionally. It's not like I intended that to happen, but it happened, and you know, it was a positive for real. Yeah. It was definitely positive.
The other reason I asked about the dream is because I have more questions for Nealon, but I asked about the dream because. Kind of rolls into the idea of NPCs. If, let's say, Lily thinks she would have a dream about something that might have happened to her, is that something that we could do as ourselves as characters of a wake up from a nightmare or something, or is that taking too much from you?
Do like everybody's name in Elvish, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. That was
nice.
Very pretty, very well written.
Sylvian, or like, what do you call him? Like,
yeah, it's like Sylvian.
I don't.
Yeah. I think it's Sylvian.
It
yeah.
might be more of a thing like if someone did that, like, hey, like again, just you sent me a message. It was like, hey, are you cool with this happening like mid game? And like, hey, next time we sleep, are you okay with me taking over for a minute? More than likely, I'll say okay. And it wouldn't bother me. And if anything, I'd be like, ooh, I'm writing this down so I can play off of this later.
Right, or
Well,
or ask you of like, hey,
Right.
can I have a nightmare? Do you think you could play this out for me or with me?
And if that was the case, I would do the same thing like I said with the Bagman, where it'd be more like, oh, instead of it being a nightmare, let's do it this way instead. Because I don't know if you noticed, that's actually one of the things I did with, I think it was Lily, wasn't it? With like when you guys were traveling, wasn't it Lily that?
Went to see the house.
No, when you guys were on the road, somebody saw something.
I did.
Oh, the wolf. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was in some form or fashion the same kind of thing. It was something that had to do with her, and specifically her, without it being a nightmare.
Right.
What about Gnome Bob Ross? Was that also like?
No, Bob Ross was just cute.
I won't lie, he was on the list of random encounters.
It
Oh
just
my
happened
gosh,
to roll.
yes!
Just
Yes.
happened to not be there.
Oh, but yeah, when it comes to like, oh yeah, message him and like we'll play it out. I've done that a few times already. One of which was when everyone got back to the room and saw that Neon had passed out in the chair, like going almost full dad mode.
Yeah.
Like as like
He was waiting
as-
and waiting, and then
like quote unquote upset as I've been about the comparisons. Like no, it like he really does have those tendencies, and that was something that I messaged Zapian about. It's like, so when they get back, yada yada yada, and
Yeah.
just played out that way.
nice.
Yeah, because I have messaged Zafian once or twice about like, oh, Naoda said this thing to somebody in Gnomish, and or like, can she slip away for a second, or you know what I mean? Because it is like, I don't want to take over or stop what is going on, but it is still one of those like finding the boundary of what we can do creatively versus. Like, safely just do without needing to, and then knowing, like, okay, this is something I should probably ask ahead of time, especially considering how early it is in the campaign, is never
and then also, you guys don't have to feel like you're bothering me with questions. I'm totally cool with it, okay? Like, it's completely fine. The only ones I have to be picky with is when it's, hey, do we have 30 minutes to talk privately? And that's only because, like, you know, work and stuff like that. But if it's like we're in mid-session and it's like, hey, let me throw you some DMs, I'm not gonna be like, stop DMing me. It's fine. It doesn't bother me at all.
Speaking of DMing, did you get my messages just now?
I did.
Okay, just making sure.
Yep. Thanks.
What's it? If so you have the general like the general stuff. If you need to or want to polish it up, by all means, I can send you the file.
Okay.
So yeah, just putting that up.
Um,
Aha! Secrets.
Huh? What about secrets?
Secrets.
Well,
Ow. Ow. Uh-oh.
Awooga.
What about what happened?
No, I was saying wolf, and then I said ow.
Oh, and then he said secrets. Okay,
Yep.
that's I get it. It was this. Oh, I see it. Speaking of which, oh boy, I'm looking forward to that eventually coming up, and at the same time, I worry because depending on when it pops up. Oh, Lily.
What?
Or the fact that Lily's
Yeah, the fact that Lily's a part of the organization. See, the weird thing is, it's like, I feel like depending on when it comes out, it might go better than we think. Because if she's right, and I'm sure she is, but if she's right about them not doing that stuff, there's isolated incidents happen all the time and just about everywhere. You know what I mean? Now trying to convince everybody that is a different story, but I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna go as bad as you think it will, and I don't think
thought
Neilon's just
guilty
gonna
by
kick the
association
bat.
was a thing.
Yeah, but was she really associated with that woman? Because I
She's
think it
part
was
of the
more
same group.
you're associated with the lady herself that did it, not, you know what I mean? There's a certain part where it's like, how far does that stretch? So that is interesting if that ever comes up, you know? Killed by I don't think he's gonna murder her.
No, he's just gonna slap her
Maybe maim her. Maybe maim her, you know.
for 48 damage. Whack.
Yeah, it depends on how it comes
Some
out.
of it physical, some of it radiant, maybe.
Some of it emotionally mental, you know.
Fucking
Yeah,
shit! You just took my joke.
What?
I was about to say some of it emotional.
Bad Lily, smack smack.
Trauma. Trauma, man.
Yay! But I also look forward to seeing more of Neilon and Rodon, especially. We
Oh
got to learn
no,
a
she's
bit more
writing
about
to her
Rodon.
pen pal. We gotta take that book
Damn
away
it.
from her.
Everyone is mean. Oh my god, that sounds exactly.
All
like
she
Peter.
does
Everyone's
is
picking on
stare at that book all day.
Actually, that does bring up a
Yes,
question.
grandma.
Fish, are you actually bothered by the jokes? Because if you are, we can lay off.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm jokingly upset by it.
Oh,
Okay. I want to make sure.
I have a question. Does anybody have a character that they have prepared just in case the unthinkable happens to your current one?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have like 4.
Awesome.
I have like 9.
I do. So Lily says she doesn't. I know she's been thinking about
Lily
one.
says no.
Just hasn't finished it, I think. Interesting.
I have characters out the wazoo that if I have to edit them slightly, I can make them fit this world. So even if they're not for this world, it's not too hard to be like, all right, cool, get in there.
Do you guys hear that static, or is it just me? I think it's just me.
No, I hear it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember.
I think it's Ace's microphone.
Oh.
Oh.
Hold on.
Whoop.
Did it go away when I muted?
Yeah.
Maybe your connection for where your mic is plugged in, maybe. But
I don't think so. Motherfucker, is that the fridge?
What?
Is it like a buzzing sound?
no, it's definitely from your mic. Unless you know what it might be. It might be something picking up from your mic. But
It sounds either like a bad connection,
Like, is it like a
or bad contact,
it does
or
sound like that.
electrical interference.
Don't
Not
look
an
at my
actual
book,
sound
Dad.
it's picking up.
Is it like really bad? Hold on.
You guys see what she asked the book and what the book responded?
Don't look at my book, Dad.
Now we were talking. What
Don't look at my book, Dad.
Is it password protected or?
What do you want? I can draw you something. Damn it.
Oh, the crackling went away.
Nice.
it?
Yep.
You guys didn't see what she asked the
It's
book?
Okay.
Definitely way
okay, then
better.
it might have just been like
A
internet connection
man
or something,
scorpion.
because, like, yeah.
Gargamon asked for a man scorpion.
Oh, someone
Ooh.
asked for a drawing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to be
A
confused
man
with
scorpion.
Yeah,
Trogdor.
so no, so you gotta draw the Scorpion King.
With bad CG and all.
Yeah, bad CG at
Yeah,
all.
complete with bad CGI.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know if I can do bad CGI, but I'll try. You know, I'll draw
go
a
look
really
up the reference
bad.
material for the Rock's face. Like
Scorpion
that's
Scorpion
okay,
Centaur. That sounds pretty cool.
That does sound cool.
I
Isn't that
won't
what
lie,
he was
guys.
basically?
Like,
Just
I actually enjoyed, like, I haven't played a whole lot of characters in D&D, but the one that I have enjoyed the most was my Centaur. Like, I had a lot of fun playing as the Centaur. That was cool.
Oh,
yep, Scorpion
These
King.
are the
Oh
bad
my
CG,
god, the
right?
eyes.
the eyes.
eyes.
Okay, Fish.
Yes.
If that happens, Mr. Techman, because I tried all my like everything was plugged into. That didn't seem to be it. Internet connection can cause that, right?
It can, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. It's coming back a little bit again. But
Then what would it
it
be?
honestly seems like it's a ground loop issue.
Man, scorpions are all
Do
red
I have
and
to get a
bony.
different thing, like, to plug my microphone in then?
No, just plug it in a different slot. You should be fine.
All right, hold on then.
I don't know. I like the hair. It's like Trump with long hair.
Oh my god. Donald Trump is man scorpion. I swear this is how all those like crazy meme drawings come to be. Just I always used to wonder like who the hell thinks these up? And lo and behold, here we are, witnessing the magic in action.
But
Mhm.
Fish, is that better?
I mean,
Did it
that
go
six
away?
pack.
As far as I can tell, yes, it did go away.
Okay, then maybe it just was that slot. But once I get my
They have no hair.
Also, I have an announcement.
Statuesque.
If I can get the thing working.
Handsome
I mean,
heads.
It works, but like it does something
Red
weird.
glowing
Sometimes,
eyes.
like, restart.
Statuesque handsome heads. I think of Squidward statue.
Oh my
Like,
Oh yeah.
the thick
But,
lips and
I have-
everything.
yeah, Squidward statuesque head on a
Oh my
scorpion.
god. So
I mean,
do
this
have
doesn't
a
look
bit
too
of an
far
announcement.
off.
What's up? What's up, Ace?
It just keeps getting better, which I love the drawing. But I have an announcement. So you know how I wasn't able to have Steam before?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Guess who has a different fucking computer?
Hey.
Oh.
Have
Eh,
Steam.
I can get it. I'm still setting it up.
Mannequin head. Ugh.
But it does something funny when I turn it on. But everything else seems to work okay. Lenovo or something. It's an
Lenovo?
all-in-one.
Lenovo,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
like an all-in-one
Okay.
computer with a little touchscreen. So
Touchscreen.
Yeah, all-in-ones nowadays have touchscreens. I actually
Huh.
sold one earlier today.
yeah. So I'm still getting some stuff set up. I had to
The
wipe
legs
it
are
'cause
squiggly.
I got it from someone else.
Wiggly legs are great. That's awesome. I'm glad. I hope you get it worked out so we can play games together.
Oh yeah, because I don't know how fast it'll be with games, but once
There we
Yeah,
go.
it all just
Once
depends
I
on
have-
the game. So
yeah, it's once I get Fish. You said tomorrow you're free.
For the most part, I am free tomorrow. Yes.
What time
Just
is the
remember, I
earliest?
don't have my car right now.
No, I know, but like for
Oh,
like
glowing
a
eyes?
Discord,
Hold on.
you know,
Oh
ready
my
I do glowing
God.
eyes.
I'm
like,
imagining this thing
Discord.
like actually. Like this is a drawing, but
my
what
God.
would this look like realistically?
That
Like
would be
if
an
this was
amazing
the
thing to
if this
fight.
was a drawing you found in the cave drawing.
Oh my
God,
that
it's
does look like
actually
a
glowing.
cave
Oh
drawing.
gosh, okay.
Or what about the those dudes who like do
Glowing eyes.
realistic?
Yeah.
Yeah, like kids drawing and then they turn it into like a realistic looking monster thing.
No
Mhm.
hair? All right.
I want to see that.
Version of that for this. Oh god.
Because that just sounds terrifying.
dude,
Do scorpions have antennas?
This looks like a cave drawing. Like I could totally see this on the side of a cave. Like little stick figures with like spears trying to kill
Yeah.
it.
Like you're entering a cave, like an ancient kind of like tomb or
Yeah, he's got a
whatever.
cap.
And this is what you find. Like, whoa. Like, what the hell is this? Draw a little stick figure. Fighting.
Speaking of caves and tombs, I'm kind of surprised. Like, 'cause I
Covered
remember
in
when
bony
you guys
scorpion
went
shell.
into the one that I made, you guys were like, I was not expecting that because I thought it was pretty cliche.
Oh, I thought
So-
it was really cool. Like, I mean,
Oh, those
fact
are
that none of us
horns.
know what electricity is. You know what I mean?
Yes, horns. Yes.
That's not antennas. Those are horns.
Yeah.
I gave him some horns. Ta-da!
I like it. The
Kill
devil
it.
horns.
Kill it with fire.
Fucking terrifying.
Oh my gosh. Fish Kid is competing in a tournament at some point. I know that.
Yeah.
Is it a hot dog eating contest?
No, he got in a slapping contest at some point. It was funny.
But no, the I do have to set aside like 2 hours maybe. Depends on how long it goes. Because Ian and I are working on a project,
Whoa.
but I should have a little bit of time free. I just don't know when that's gonna happen. So I'll let you know when I free up
Fire.
in the afternoon.
Oh yeah, I sent you a message over like Facebook because I'd be more free in the morning. You know what I mean?
Then probably not.
Ta-da!
Well,
Nice.
like afternoon, like 1.
I'm worried
2,
we might have to
because like I
fight
could
some
push
of
it till
these.
maybe 3.
I'll let you know.
All right.
This is
Yeah,
this
or
isn't the,
like
the
I said, any other time you
so
have
I'll let
off.
you know.
I'm imagining
Yeah. Or
Zafian
any other day
like
that you have off.
screenshot this, and then like weeks down the line, episode like 37, I'm like, guys, by the way, do you remember this thing? Like, oh no.
It's the little image on the
Yeah, it's
on
that's the
map is
token. That's a
that.
token on the freaking
Yeah, the
map. Like,
token.
wait a minute, is that? Oh, it is.
No, and then Zafian surprises us by getting an artist to literally draw
It's like
like a
it's got a
like,
particularly
creepy
shiny
version
head.
of it. Yeah.
It's got a
Got you,
mean
Wes.
look.
Plot twist. That's the first thing you guys see if you go back to the Underdark with Deoda.
Oh
It's just
my
there, and she's
God.
just like, "Oh, hi, Tom." She's like, "What the fuck?"
Boom.
Hey.
His name is
What's up,
Tom.
Dwayne? How's it hanging?
Dwayne. Oh my god.
Also, I don't think they saw what Lily asked the book.
Whoa, had
Cool.
the baby oil.
Oh, I
Like,
saw. It was
Better hide those big ass
spooky. I
forehead.
hated it.
It's like my has not.
Uh,
My forehead's not that big.
A pit fiend? You know, I'm gonna have to look that up because I have no idea what that is.
oh, a pit fiend? Ooh.
Yeah.
Nobody tell
All
her.
right. I think I might need to call it here because I'm. Just
It is getting
fucking
late.
exhausted.
We're reaching.
I think we
We've
should
actually
too.
passed the 3-hour mark. We're nearing the 3:30 mark actually, and
Mm-hmm.
I think we had a lot of things discussed and some very important things that were discussed
Oh,
today,
absolutely.
Yes.
and that was
Jenny
great.
Pitbull.
A pit fiend. Can you draw one real quick? Like,
Super quick.
Right.
It's like a devil thing.
this will be the last
Yeah, it's like a weird little.
question/request
Demon
before
thingy.
we close off, I
Alright.
guess.
I'll try to draw one quickly. Oh snap!
Zafian,
Think like
do you remember
it looks
when
like
we were talking-
Balrog almost.
Yeah, it's basically
Sorry, go ahead.
like
Yeah.
a
Do you remember when we were talking about like shitty meme drawings and how those are like top tier?
Mm-hmm.
I love how like a lot of these drawings have been really good, but like the past few monsters have just been meme monsters. I
They
love
are the
it.
best, man. I'm telling you.
I like they are like just meme art is the best art. Like I think like one of my favorite things that Angel did in that last call that we were in was the In the Arms of the Angel, the mouse, and then the one where Lily just died and Gomo is like
What? Yeah, the
what?
last two. Yeah.
and the last two are also wrote on the weird penguin dragonborn with the hiding behind the tiny rock. it's because
Oh,
yeah.
Maki flying through the air.
In the arms of an angel.
Don't get me started.
Do it, sing it. You haven't sang a song.
Yeah, you still haven't done any barding.
All right, do it while I'm drawing this.
No, Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh my god, can you not?
I still want a full version of Wonderwall.
I've heard him do Wonderwall a few times.
Too many times.
a few too
Indeed,
many times.
it gets
yeah, you're right.
requested quite
I
often.
heard that fish.
I'm gonna freaking do. I'm gonna do Angel, the Sarah McLachlan
Oh, yeah.
Angel song. I'll do it. I'll fucking do it.
Do it. I dare you. Do it.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Don't make me.
Spend all your time waiting for that second chance, for a break that would make it okay. There's always some reason to feel not good enough, and it's hard at the end of the day. I need some distraction. Oh, beautiful release. Memories seep from my veins. Let me be empty. Oh, weightless, and maybe I'll find some peace tonight. In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you feel. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. So tired of the straight line, and everywhere you turn, there's vultures and thieves at your back. Storm keeps on twisting, keep on building the lies that you make up for all that you lack. Don't make no difference. Escape one last time. It's easier to believe in this sweet madness. Oh, this glorious sadness that brings me to my knees. In the arms of the angel, fly away from here, from this dark cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you feel. You are pulled from the wreckage of your silent reverie. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here. You're in the arms of the angel. May you find some comfort here.
I had to mute myself because as soon as Angel threw up the fucking picture,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't
I
wanna
was
ruin the
I was
beautiful
desperately
thing,
trying to
God
ignore
damn
that.
it. You're like trying to keep it
F.
in the chat.
Our
Yeah.
board, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, that's our
Bard
bard.
doesn't do it enough.
That
Woo! Round
was-
of applause.
Yeah, it was like
From
legit
Channel's
first
cover
time
video.
singing as, and I'm not even in character.
good.
So I'm telling
No,
you,
it's in the chat.
Gomo's not a okay, well maybe he'll like he kept
doesn't
saying it.
have-
Maybe
he
he'll
doesn't
do it,
have-
and it might turn out to be pretty
Como
good.
doesn't have
We'll
the
see.
bard, but we would love to
We'll
hear
see.
you, bard.
Here's the pit fiend, by the way. Ta-da!
Yay! There's a pit fiend.
Uh,
And I love how the
I think
pit
that's a good
fiend
place to end
is
it.
when you were in the arms of the angel, she was drawing a pit.
Oh, the fucking juxtaposition of like
Uh,
contrasting.
I think that's a good place to end it on Gummy's beautiful barding.
Hey.
Yeah, Gomo may not be a performer, but Gummy is.
Gummy.
Well, maybe
Yes,
maybe
he
we'll
is.
see some more. But I'm just trying to figure out an opportunity to incorporate it in an
Character, yeah.
interesting, meaningful way
It might
into
come
the
up.
campaign.
It might come up in a different way than you think.
He performs on VR chat, actually.
I do it as a hobby. I don't perform for a living.
Imagine though.
It would be
But-
it would be interesting to. I've been trying to do it as a side gig kind of thing, but work got too busy. The main work got too busy. Hopefully, I'm just trying to get some technicalities figured out so I can start streaming again. Well, and on that note, we can end. And so, our artist today has been, filling the screens with some interesting stuff to
Very beautiful.
look at
artwork.
visibly.
Very amazing. Right.
Yeah, so that's Lily. Go check her out. That's her channel. It should be on the screen. Angelica Lestiel, and she also does tarot reading, which we also do on every episode. We draw a tarot card, trying to get prediction is a strong word, but kind of get a reading on what kind of things to expect or how that session might turn out. And so far, it has been pretty much spot on. So that would be interesting to see in the future if you come and join us. And
I do
one more
readings
thing.
on my channel also. Every Thursday, I do tarot card reading. So if you
Yes.
ever want a free reading, just come see me and I'll go ahead and give you a reading.
so on her channel.
I do actually have one thing with that right before we leave, which is the more reading she does, the more familiar we're going to get with the cards. So that we don't become self-fulfilling prophecies. Do we want to have
When it-
her pull the card and keep it
I think when it comes to that
Aside
point, we can
hidden?
we can hide it and kind
Yeah.
of
when we start getting more familiar with the cards? 'Cause
yeah.
I know some cards because I have my own deck, but that's like a
I
different
mean,
thing.
all of us pretty much knew what the tower was going to be, but
Exactly.
it didn't
Still.
influence the.
yeah, I don't think it influenced
Yeah.
when we're in the heat of the moment and we're actually role playing.
We're
I
not
don't think
thinking
we're
about it,
thinking
yeah.
about oh, how do we make it so that it's a tower role play? No,
Yeah.
I think it's okay.
No, I had a feeling, and I knew that was going to be the answer, but it's one of those, you ask the question just to, be able to say that, yeah, we already talked about that, blah, 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 if somebody else ever asked, you know what I mean? Ugh. So, next week is the plan. Sundays.
Yes, yes.
Are we thinking 8 or 7?
Well, I think the plan is 7. We'll see if we can
Usually, yeah.
make it. Yeah, so the
That's
schedule
fine.
time is 7. That's also what's on the stream schedule, etc. Anyways, so mark your calendars, subscribe, or not subscribe. Well, if you you can't subscribe because we're not affiliate, but follow by all means and join
You
the
can
Discord server.
subscribe on YouTube because it all goes on YouTube.
Oh
on
yes,
YouTube.
it also it live streams to YouTube as well as the VODs are all on YouTube as well. So if you want to see the past episodes, that's where you can find them. Expect there to be more content coming there soon. There was a
don't
little
know
glimpse
what
of
that is.
something today on the Discord server. I don't think it was posted available to the general. What are you drawing?
Happy man.
A happy Bagman? That's
Keep talking. Keep talking.
but anyways,
the stream can't even see it.
so yeah, the stream can't see it right now. We're rolling credits. But yeah, social media. So YouTube and Twitch, we live stream to both platforms. VODs are on YouTube, and follow Twitter for notifications as well as some fun art. There's some meme ones there too. And you can also join the Discord. The Discord link is down in the description. Mostly meme, yes. Mostly. Sometimes a little serious. But honestly, they're all original art, cool art. Well, original in the sense that you won't find them elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because they're actual, like, full-on original, like, drawn from scratch, and there's also some derivative, art is a strong word, but derivative content that also gets posted there too. So by all means, come join, come follow, and you'll get notified. But you can also see them on the Discord, so that's the easiest way to, I think, get access to all of them.
Everything gets to the Discord first, generally.
Yep, they always show up there. You can talk to us, out of stream, just ask us questions, talk about, D&D stuff, talk about your character, how your experience has been with D&D, et cetera, et cetera.
In the Discord
Absolutely.
too, if you weren't able to catch this one.
Yep. So, well, we hope to see you there and see you again next week. Wait, do we have a raid candidate? Or are we just
I
shooting in
don't
the
think
dark?
we do. We didn't check that out yet.
I can check real quick for a raid.
Yes.
Raid.
So DM, who gets DM inspiration for this? For this?
Me.
Actually,
Yes.
because
Wait.
Lily got it last time.
Wait.
Wait a minute. Do we want to do this? Do you want DM to have a DM inspiration? He can just
Yes.
force advantage, like on demand. No, you are dying.
Speaking of
This
advantage,
person has their session for Saga Quest, Dungeons and Dragons in a real life cabin. They're all sitting
Ooh.
together.
Aw.
Is that the
Love it.
Austin Dodge
Yeah.
group?
Yeah.
All right, we're rating Austin Dodge.
You got it, sir?
Awesome.
Lock and load.
Onward.
Well, I can't. Hold on. Oh wait, I think I can.
Oh yeah.
Where did the chat go? Oh, there it is.
I think I can.
Raid
Let's go.
Austin Dodge. All right, everyone, lock and load your emotes. Oh, that's a thing. Like we don't have.
Surprise attack. In 3,
Yeah, surprise round.
2, 1.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Be nice. Get sleep.
And we raid.
Here we go.